Jasmine gives pageant answers. That's what he was doing today. But deep down, he isn't feeling anything about what his answers said. He isn't even giving enough like intimacy without sex, without the sexual aspect. Like, because you can be intimate without having sex, right? There's touch, there's looking at someone as if you're attracted to them, doing like lots of touchy-feely things, and he doesn't give any of that. So yeah, I call fluff as well on Aris's conduct on this episode. Jasmine, I think she really wants it, and there's something about Jasmine that makes me think she will still say yes, but he isn't feeling.
You muted, JR.
You become a lockable character again. Go for it.
Sorry, I really don't think he's going to be like a lightning bolt's going to hit or a switch is going to flip and he's going to be like, you know what, I want her. I don't see it happening. So, yeah, definitely fluffers.
I think with Jasmine, let me be honest, yeah, and Aris is obviously not attractive. We know that already, but I think there are some key things that he is showing her, and I do like that. There's some key things he's letting her know. Listen, hey, have a backbone about you, because it's ugly when you don't have one. Like, tell me that you don't like this. Stop brooding in your feelings when you feel it. But the reality is, she needs this education. The other aspect is, that ain't got to do with the fact that he don't like her. Yeah? Because Negroes be loving chicks that be in their brooding season. If she's fine to you and she brooding, babe, what's going on? Why are you brooding for? Like, that ain't gonna. Now, the issue might be about communication, but that ain't turning you off. So that isn't the reason why he's turned off. But I do love the fact that he is educating her to help her be a better communicator. He is fluffing her up for the next man. Yes, Crystal.
Sorry, y'all. I got mouse control issues. I have a question because Trey Mac reminded me of something. Did you guys notice that he could not keep eye contact with her? And Trey Mac, I don't think it's the dental issue. I don't think it's the teeth. I think that him having these one-on-one conversations, or we call it vulnerability, or him just having these heart-to-heart conversations is tough for him. I was like, man, look at her. Just keep your head. Like, his eyes kept darting down, and it wasn't even darting at her mouth. It was just like he could not look at her. Like, having a conversation where you keep eye contact with someone, I feel like that's kind of an Achilles heel for him. And I don't think it had anything to do with her teeth. I think it literally it's something, that vulnerability thing for him is hard. If you're walking through the house and you're telling about your dad and stuff like that, and showing her through the house, that's one thing. But actually sitting there and having a conversation with her or with anybody, it just seemed very hard for him. That's what I think. I don't think it had anything to do with her mouth. I think it's just, so I just wondering about that. Kojo, what did you think about that? Did you notice that?
Oh, I was just playing about the teeth. I was just playing, not playing. I was playing, not playing about the teeth.
Go for it, Trey.
No, that's all I was saying.
I
was just playing, not playing about the teeth.
You weren't playing, nigga. You weren't playing, nigga. You weren't playing, and that's okay, bro. The reality is a reality. But that's part of the attraction for him. That's part of the attraction as well for him, and I'm not mad at that. That's the reality. That's just the truth. You know what I mean? You have to be okay with that. You can't be crying about it. So that's the reality. That's the truth. I'm not mad at you said that, Trey. It's real. But I definitely do believe that he's got vulnerability issues. So I think his issue is, number one, attraction, right? And I think that's to do the teeth, but it's also to do the fact that her overall look it's not his look, right? And I think, secondly, he, just like he's teaching her, I think he needs to learn as well how to be vulnerable. I think he lacks that ability to be able to be vulnerable. And, I always I do some tests with some women that sometimes when I'm talking to them, I'm like, just look into my eyes. And when they can't look you in the eyes, you know they got intimacy issues. I'll be honest with you. Most people who can't look you in the eyes have intimacy issues because the eye contact makes them feel uncomfortable and makes them feel like they can't be in a gaze with that person because it's too much, right? Now, of course, I'm sure some people don't like eye contact, so they'll tell you, I just have eye contact issues. Well, you are the, the extreme, and you are the minority. But the majority of people, they should be able to keep some level of eye contact. Should be able to keep some level of eye contact to the person. So if he can't do that, it means he's lacking in the ability in the areas of being able to be intimate beyond just sex in terms of emotional and mental connection. So if you ever want to try it, ladies and gentlemen, listen, try me. When you say you like somebody, you'll see how vulnerable they can get. Just ask them, listen, just look into my eyes. You know what I mean? If they're like, it's annoying when you have to, yeah, you already know that they got intimacy issues. Okay, they can do it. All right, they start feeling awkward. So, but yeah, it's interesting, that aspect. Yeah, JR, do you want to answer the question that Crystal put out? I don't know if JR haven't heard it, but you're muted, bro. Like a lockable character. Unlock yourself.
Sorry, I've got mute issues as well. It's simple for me. Aris has never been attracted to her, and wherever it is, like, he can't even do simple things like the eye contact, even things like saying, he says things to kind of not put her down as much as you would expect someone who genuinely dislikes someone. I think he's trying to be nice about it, but at the end of the day, it's just not a match on his side, and that's unfortunate because as nice as she comes across, and you don't see any toxic displays or any crazy coming from her necessarily at all so far, and so his lack of attraction to her is only about him. It's something that he sees or he has seen or he feels, and it's just not doing it for him. And let's be real, like, you can fake intimacy, like you can fake like someone. He's not even doing that. Like, if you can't look at the person and gaze and even, compliment them, he's not even trying to. I'm not even saying that he should do it. Like, don't be a player or nothing like that. Don't use her for the way she feels about you or whatever. But he's not even interested in doing that. He's not interested in doing anything. It's literally like he's just giving her like padding or a boost in self-confidence so she doesn't get so demoralized, so that when she does move on to the next relationship, then she might find someone better. That's what it seems to be. He's already checked out.
Definitely hear on that. Go for it, Trey. Yeah.
That was as a question. Was it? I think it was the last episode when he was already talking like what's going to happen to them after the show, after he was talking like after we separate, how this would change, of what people we might meet, what would be next. It had nothing to do with her, nothing. And I was like, yeah, he already checked out. It's just, he just riding this out until it's time to go.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that one. So I definitely feel like, I definitely feel like, with Jasmine Aris, I think he's just, doing the bare minimum to get past. He wants to do what he needs to do, just not be the bad guy. But again, there was a very important lesson when she wanted to meditate. She got annoyed, didn't really discuss it, but he felt her energy. Homeboy told her, listen, fix your face and tell me you're frustrated. So all this mooding and brooding like a little kid, like, just communicate, So yes, Crystal, go for it.
But I think he liked that. And that's a lot of energy. Like he said, okay, I see her energy. Let me, I already went to meditate. No, you needed to pay attention to what she said the night before and don't, be considerate. He liked that. He liked that moody and brooding. That's a lot of energy. That's a lot of work. That's interesting.
Yeah, but it's simple. Like when I look at Jasmine, I don't. Okay, I look at Aries. I see toxic. A lot of toxic traits. He likes toxicity himself. It's not surprising. There are a lot of men out there that's like that because they're just used to that. They don't. They never experienced anything different. So they're like, oh, okay, that's normal to them. If you're not talking ish to them, they don't think it's real. So some women are like that too. Jasmine, I've never seen Jasmine as toxic. God, I hate to say this. I saw Jasmine as just slightly weak. She just, her backbone is a little bent. Just backbone, just a little bent. But yeah, now her talking up for herself lately, I think is good without her getting ridiculous. Aries wants her to get ridiculous at him just one time. Like, which is, now you pulling her completely out of her frame to someone who she really is not. Do I think she needs to stand up for herself a little more? Yes, because even this episode, she immediately said, she realized that she has had this problem in the past, not speaking up for herself, not standing up for herself on certain things. So men have told her this in the past. It's always been her failing. So I was like, interesting. We kind of knew this already, but we didn't focus on it because Aries was so bad. The main focus of it, this is what it is. But yeah, he likes a little bit of toxic. He hasn't grown from that. Like I ain't gonna lie, back in the day, just give me a scotch. Just all it needs is a scotch. We call it spicy. I still like a little spicy. But listen, I'm going behind man, okay? Nah. I ain't got time for that. Okay? I'm Aries age. I ain't got the time. I got better things to do than follow up behind your mess. No, you're not taking my energy. My energy can be diverted in other things that can bring me dividends. You're not bringing me dividends. You're just bringing me headaches. I ain't dealing with it. That's just me now. But I grew up. Aries, can't say that. He still acts like a little boy in a lot of aspects and how he moves or whatnot. There's a lot of boyish in there or whatever. He is still, I don't want to say, I'm trying to preface this nicely, but he's still that 12-year-old boy that lost his dad. He's not a grown man that has lost a father and trying to, move forward in his life with it. In his mind, in some aspects, he's still that 12-year-old little boy that lost his dad. His dad left and never came back. That's where his mindset is at. And you can just kind of see it in how he moves. But yeah, it's to me there are a situation where I say, you know what, this is what you don't do. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone makes mistakes, and you try to learn from your mistakes. I've tried to follow the moniker, and I tried to follow this when I was young. It's not easy for most people to do, but I always say, you know what? I learn from the mistakes of others. If you see a bunch of people walking over a cliff, why would you go and join them? That's stupid. This is dumb. No. I might try to save you. Hey, don't go over there. But if you want to keep walking, you ain't about to pull me over with you. No. I'll holler at you. I'm sorry. I tried to stop you. What can I do? But yes, I learned from the mistakes of others. I had a father in my life. You know, I learned from him. Okay, yeah, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I cannot sit here and say my father ain't never teach me nothing. He taught me some stuff, taught me what not to do. Don't do that. Gotcha. Move forward.
Yeah, no, listen. I think you know, Aris is someone who you know, I think Aris is somebody who, you know, he is. Yeah, I think he likes toxicity. I'll be honest with you. I really do think he likes that, and I think he's wanting a bit more of that toxicity, that vibrancy, that madness, that craziness to appear with Jasmine. You know what I mean? But I think that just speaks to his kind of mindset. Um, I think with him, I think what I'm seeing is that there's some aspects of Aris that he I'm sorry, Jasmine that he likes. It's not enough to obviously make him convinced because of course this is a attraction aspect. But I think he also has to work out through some of his kind of kinks because I'll be honest with you, like his struggles in this area with Jasmine are really, again, going back to what I was saying about the communication issue. Now, all this big boy talk about how great she is, all this kind of stuff, sir, is some bullcrap. Okay, it's a load of baloney. Okay, and it's literally putting fire up her pant for no reason, fam. Yeah, because you know you're talking the absolute most, but none of that you're actually bringing into actual action. That's a problem right there. So for me personally, I'd rather Aris just keep 100% real. And yeah, so for me, it's Aris is going to learn from this. I think he will learn some things from this. Maybe not the craziest amount of learning, but there's going to be some learning. There's some growth. Someone said Aris wants a Morgan. I think he does want someone like a Morgan because she got the body and she got the craziness. So that boy will be having his hands full for a little while longer. But yeah, so I'm with you, Trey, on that. Still, I'm with you on that, Trey. Any more thoughts from Crystal or JR on that?
Did you guys see her lotioning his legs? What did you guys think of that?
I have no thoughts to that. I'm not going to say nothing about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought that was potentially a window that, you know, that something was going to happen from that, if I'm not lying. Like the way that he was positioned and how she did that, I was like, okay, just for a split second. But then I realized it's Aris and he ain't feeling her. And she probably just creamed that guy's legs and then stood up and went about her kind of did whatever she was doing. So again, it's another sign that there is no attraction there. Because that, you know, if you're attracted to someone, that is usually going to lead somewhere. That's an opportunity.
Yo, for a split, like JR said, for a split second, in my mind, I literally went, oh snap, wait, the way he's acting, is he gonna give us some? Is this gonna happen? For a split second, I was like, yo, he's putting 10 on 20 right now. This is crazy.
They did seem very. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, yeah, he was doing a lot. I was like, and it was the right answers. I was like, okay, even though we don't believe it, so you can get the right answers when you want to. Interesting, my brother. Interesting.
They seem very comfortable after he won the little pageant and everything, and they're laying in bed. They just seem like really good friends. And he made her feel comfortable and everything, and he's funny, but I just thought it was fluff. I said, this doesn't matter, it's still fluff to me. And then the weird thing, like him telling her that, you know, you gotta flash the thing, and I said, Jasmine, sometimes turn that around on him, because I know he's joking, but I think he would appreciate if she would she would give it right back to him. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes these are him being funny, but it's the little jabs. Girl, turn that back to him, and maybe he'll like that a little bit more. That's what gets him. So yeah.
I really think he was trying to talk himself into sleeping with her. I really, while I was watching it, it kept popping in my head the way he was acting. You know, he was trying, he was actually engaging with her. She was looking shocked, like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I was like, yo, is this dude, is this dude, I, I may go on a limb when I say this, fellas. I think we've all may have been in this situation before. You kind of had to talk yourself into the like, all right, you know what? Just go ahead and do it. You know, you don't know when the next time gonna be. Just to go and get this in. You know, I just felt like he was trying to talk himself into getting with her, like, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. But I just got that feeling. It was just that feeling he was getting.
I don't think it can be understated how much pain that she might be going through, though, because in a way it's been a constant rejection, and you've seen her over the course of the season break down and start crying about it, get emotional about it, right? Because in most cases, like I said, even if you're feeling someone a tiny bit, like, you would be trying to see how things progress in different areas. If the physical isn't there, you try and look at other aspects, and you're trying to, and even the sense of humor aspect. Like, if you're taking jabs at each other, that's another way to find some type of chemistry. That's not happening. So I think like, when I look at Jasmine, I think she might be even confused still, even after all of this time, because for someone to not be attracted in any way, shape, or form, where one thing doesn't even lead to another, no kissing on a regular basis, no, like, the romantic elements. Aris is very matter of fact, and it's difficult to watch, because I'm like, this guy is completely it's like he's completely checked out and he's completely not attracted to her. And even when they were doing the pageant thing, it was like he said all these things that, in an ideal world, like, if you were feeling the partner, it would come across as quite sincere, quite genuine. But yeah, it was just cap. And I think it was an element of saving face in front of the other couples too, so he doesn't look bad, because most of the other couples have progressed in some way. Even Clint and Gina, they can realize that they're friends. They're just going to make conversation, have a sense of humor, things like that, right? Chris, Nicole, we know. Even Shaq and Kirsten, even though they have their issues, they're more advanced than Jasmine and Eris are. So I think there's an element of him watching what the other couples are doing and how they're interacting, and just not wanting to come across as the bad guy because he's not feeling her.
Sean, welcome to the convo, bro. Good to have you here, bro. We're talking about Jasmine and Aris. I want to get your thoughts on this situation. All right, talk to me.
Yeah, I also want, after I'm finished, I just need Trey to explain a phrase, because I didn't understand what back broke, bent back, whatever that was. I just need to get a little bit better clarity on the context, and I need just a little understanding. I just don't understand it until what and how that fell into the equation. But when it comes to these two, you know, they just moving along to get along. That's pretty much it. Everybody has made the points. I think Aris is an overgrown man, you know, overgrown man child, and just at the end of the day, he is performative, and that's why he was able to win the little pageant show that they had, because he is extremely performative. So he knows what to say and when to say it. But at the end of the day, he don't bit more want Jasmine than, you know, anything else. So I'm not sure what more he needs to say and how much more he needs to make it clear he does not want her. But he loves, and I think he will welcome the attention at this point, because if she's going to give him the attention, he's going to take it, but he's just going to stop her at a certain point. And I'm assuming that this is probably, you know, because he knows this is being watched on TV. This guy's almost 40. So he's like, I'm not going to be completely demonic. I will, you know, just stop it at the sex. That's why he's, you know, tried to put the, you know, it out there early. Oh no, we'll wait till after decision day. But knowing that he's not going to choose her, he said it when the guys were talking. He mentioned when they were in the kitchen talking and breaking down where they are in the process. And he said, you know, if this was normal, under normal circumstances, and I'm paraphrasing, he was like, I probably would have just said no, but I am, you know, I'm giving it a go. No, you should just say no, because it's painful to watch, and she should just say no. And I think it's just sad to see her going against her gut feelings, because you can see her gut feeling is telling her that she needs to bail and, you know, run like a track star. But her issues and production keep dragging her right back in. So I think it's just so unfortunate, because she is, you know, this is a worse story to me than Chris and Paige, because she's being held captive here, and he needs to set her free, and production needs to set her free. So that's what I think about those two.
Well,
But Trey,
it's not
an explanation now, if you don't mind.
okay. Real quick explanation. Okay, Jasmine wants a big backbone. Excuse me. She wants a bent backbone from a poussoir blowout, but unfortunately, she has a big backbone from weakness of character. That is Jasmine. Now, to what you just said, who's really holding her hostage? Eris doesn't want her. We know he don't want her. He's not acting like he wants her. So it sounds like Jasmine is holding herself hostage at this point. And if that's the case, why are we caring? Because you're doing it to yourself. You did it to yourself. Who else can you blame at this point but yourself? Unfortunately, that's how I'm starting to look at Jasmine. I'm like, you know, this ain't it. This is not it. Yet you still, for her, it's not sticking around to make it to the end like Gina is, you know, get this check or whatever, even though that's part of it. No. If Eris says yes to her, she's saying yes back. She's saying yes back. You know, she's not the type of chick to drag this all to the end, be like, you know what, you did this to me, and now I'm gonna make you look bad by saying no to you. She's not that girl. She's just not that girl. She's gonna say yes, and it's gonna be unfortunate. So she is putting her own self through Stockholm syndrome, and it's crazy. Sorry, Jasmine. It is what it is. Stop doing it to yourself. Just stop.
I think I just got you a nice clip there, Kojo. So please, let's just let's just clip that. I think that would be a phenomenal clip as advice to Jasmine on why she needs and wants a bent backbone. So now that Trey has made it clear for all of us and what she needs to do, hopefully, Jasmine, if you out there, please go on and get your bent backbone by somebody that wants to bend your backbone. Okay. But I would say that no, he is accountable as well. You know, I hear what you're saying, but there is a level of accountability that he has to take on because he continues to not be fully forthright. He does this dance with her where he gives her hope. And it's almost worse. And I know some folks are like, well, at least he's not giving her sex. It's worse because you're playing with her emotions. You're making her think that if she does something, that there is a chance. And if you know anything about human behavior, the hope and breadcrumbing is very, very toxic because you're playing with somebody's notions of what they want. And this is our husband. It's not even a relationship. So you are giving her the idea that you would be her husband, knowing full well you have no interest of being with her, and you keep telling her all these ridiculous things that she could do, that even when she does them, you're not going to even remotely give her a chance. That is bad. Yeah, somebody put in the comments, Jennifer Pollard, feeding hope. That is horrific. Especially for somebody like a Jasmine, who is, as we all can see, such a genuinely nice person. It causes self-doubt. And you see her going through these pangs of constantly saying, oh, I'm ready to go and I want to leave. And oh, this is bothering me. We were supposed to meditate, but then you didn't meditate. She's doubting her own, you're doubting your own inner voice. And that can be very damaging long term because it's making you second guess yourself. Because if he cared about her, he would not need to be reminded to meditate with her in the morning. And you just talked about it the day before. Just like as ridiculous as it was, and we talked about it, it sounded like a good idea to some, but it is a horrible idea that you need to be, Dr. Pepper told him to set an alarm to text her. That means you don't care about her. You don't think about her. There's no way in the world. You have just met somebody. You're on a journey of marriage. It occupies, they're occupied by production and cameras all day. There's so many constant reminders of why you should be interacting with this woman. You don't need an alarm on your phone to text her throughout the day when she's not around you to say, hey, how you doing? So all those signs lead to he does not want her. And then, another good point, right? About the dancing scene. All signs, he does not think about her in that way. He doesn't even think about her feelings. Now, yes, what does the dancing scene by itself innocuous? It sure is. But in the grand scheme of things, he's smart enough because when he was called out on it, he said, I know and I could understand in the context of our relationship that it was not good for me to do that. To me, that's master manipulation. He's way too grown to be doing this. He needs to set her free. He's much more mature and older than her. Rather, I won't say mature. He's older than her. You got to set this woman free. So that's what I
think. I hear you straight, loud and clear. Get me. Personally, I think they're both to blame. But I think more culpability relies on Aris because he hasn't tried as he needs to try, or technically he's been trying. Is that his poverty in his capabilities? That's the reality there. So I think there's some work that he needs to work on himself. And I think there's also some work for her to work on herself. Her actions are less destructive, I would say, right? So he has more destructive tendencies in terms of the way that he hasn't been able to connect with her. But having said that, let me not even say that it's more destructive. Let me say that the reality is he's not attracted to her, and this is making it very difficult. But he's lacked the ability to be vulnerable, and that's irrespective of whether someone's attractive or not. You can be vulnerable whether you find them attractive or not. That's a simple basis. Number one. I think number two, I think the second thing is maybe he's intentionally holding back because when you know that someone likes you and you don't want to give them no room. This is what it looks like. The ones there where that girl or that guy that likes you, and fellas, we know this more than the ladies probably even know this, right? Yeah, you like that girl, and that girl refuses to give you any space at all. This is what it looks like. It's like you can't. She don't even want to talk to you about anything deep because you're gonna get excited. You're gonna take some hope from that. So I also want to give him a bit of grace as well and say that if we saw how he was when he was attracted to her, maybe we'd have a deeper understanding. But again, once more, I definitely believe he was more of the culprit than she was as well. Yeah. It's political. All right, cool. So let's go to then Kirsten and Shaq because he ain't met the family. I don't care what nothing that Sean says. He ain't met that family. Okay, he ain't met that family, and so up until the point he hasn't met that family, Kirsten is still culpable right there. He hasn't met the family. She's hiding the daddy for some type of reason after she done said daddy was Superman. Superman can't come from where? Kryptonian, wherever he's coming from, can't come to Earth. Can't come and see her son-in-law. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me personally, I'm gonna just say this again. No matter how much she does the cute stuff on my screen, your daddy and your rest of your people who are your family haven't come to see the person who you're married to. It's shambolic. It's disgraceful. It's tasteless. It's classless. We're tired of it, to be honest. We're tired of it. All right. And frankly, I'm getting bored of this nonsense. Darling, nothing you want to see or you don't want to see him. Which one is it? But don't expect me to tell you on decision day, I want to be with you if you want to let me meet your family. You've told me your decision already. You don't believe. So let's stop the cap and stop trying to pretend as if you really like me, doing all this likey stuff when you know your family ain't even trying to meet me. You went to a whole barbecue without me. You know what I mean? When you could have been with me. So there is a lot of glaring issues that I see with Kirsten's situation, behavior, and we're asking Shaq to believe in something that is make-believe. Listen, her situation is more make-believe than people believe about Jesus, okay? I think they would believe in Jesus before they believe in Kirsten's situation. That's how wild it is to me, okay? I think they would actually believe in the Passion of Christ before they believe in Kirsten's love for Shaq. So I'm just saying... I had to get him out of there. I had to get Sean out of it because he got on cap, and I want him to know that I don't believe his cap. So I appreciate you, Sean. Do you want a chance to respond, Sean, and let us know your thoughts on this situation? Love to hear how you defend your client.
Well, first, I just want to distance myself from the blasphemy that you just spewed on this good channel that you've created so many years ago. So, complete blasphemy. And I got to tell you, you're going to have your foot on Kirsten's neck. I mean, there's nothing that this woman can do that you will not find a way to vilify her. You're going to hold her accountable for the acts of her own father, who meanwhile didn't show up to the wedding before even Shaq was even known to be who he was known to be. And now you want to hold her accountable because he hasn't met Shaq. Like, that's a grown man. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Let's hold her accountable to her actions. So that's what I want to say. I mean, these two were remotely, pretty much unproblematic at this point for the most part. I still think that Shaq is he's very needy, and it's draining to watch him on the screen. It is draining my soul to watch him on the screen. It is always what I need, what I need, what I need from you, what I need you to do, what I need you to go. I need you to come to work with me. I need you to do this. I need you. And meanwhile, he used that little therapist tactic when they were at the dinner table and she explained what some of the concerns are in the relationship, and it's the miscommunication. You know, he just said, I validate your feelings. That sounds great in a therapy setting, but at the end of the day, what's behind those words? Do you understand what she's saying? Are you looking to be more effective at communicating with her? Are you looking to move on? Because see, the problem with him, and I'm not going to say that, you know, he hasn't had a rough go at it, but he keeps talking about the first 2 weeks, and he did this with the fellas. Oh, I'm so tired of the, he didn't say I'm so tired, but he was like, oh, we would be further along than Chris and Nicole if she would have just come along. Okay. You might have been, but she didn't. She had concerns. She said them. She, definitely wasn't always nice about it. Wasn't always good information to hear, but you have moved along. And yet you still want to talk about where you weren't and what she didn't do. How do you give somebody, and she asked for this, I just want grace, because that has to be exhausting. When somebody constantly reminds you about what you didn't do and what you did 2 weeks ago, you got to move on. You got to move on to this. You got to build a bridge and move on. You're at a better place. And I'm sorry, their little, their horizontal tete-a-tete that they had, it must not have been hitting on nothing, because it didn't. They still seem in a sunken place as a couple. And he needs to spend more time focusing on how he can give her a bent backbone, as Trey would say, so they can stop focusing on what she was worried about 3 weeks ago and focus on how you gonna get that. Because her thing was thanging in them jeans, and I'm gonna panda, so I'm gonna close with a panda. She was in them jeans, trying to coach him through that exercise, trying to coach him through that, pageant exercise, and help a good brother out. And she was looking good. I was like, listen, baby, we don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about nothing, because I'm going to focus on the right things, and Shaq is focused on the wrong things. And I'll land my plane.
Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord.
Oh boy! Advocate Sean in the building. Woo. Listen, he's definitely not bending her back. It didn't happen. Her back's still straight. Ain't nothing big in it. And honestly, I was looking at this situation. I'm like, you know what? I think he only hit it once, and that was it. That was it. You only hit it one time. That's it. The tongue just got sticky once, and that was all it took. Oh, yeah, because you know about those sticky tongues. Don't we try that? Don't try. you know what I'm talking about. Nah, it's bruh. To Sean's point. To Sean's point. Shaq is very needy, and it is getting annoying. But I will say this, just to be fair and to give a caveat: no matter who you are, yeah, it can definitely sound needy if your needs are not getting met in the first place. No matter who you are, Sean, you too. If your needs are not getting met, you won't be Shaq. But you might sound a little bit like him from time to time if your needs not getting met. You won't be Shaq. I just said it. You won't be Shaq. You ain't gonna do Shaq. You're gonna do Sean. But even Sean may come off, you know what? My needs are not getting met. I feel a type of way. Let me explain. Because you're very good with your words. So it's gonna sound proper and informed. You're going to feel what you feel. But he ain't gonna be Shaq. Just Shaq. There's a lot going on with them two. It's just a lot. I'm like Shaq. They're both bad. They're both just bad. It's like, Shaq cries all the time. Kirsten is not really that serious about it. She puts on. This is not the real Kirsten. We get the real Kirsten, like little spurts of her every now and then. This is not the real Kirsten. This is her representative that we see. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all it is. Just the representative. Oh Lord, here comes Sean Head. It's expanded, but it should. Go, my brother, go. But I'm just like, yo, and I do think it's an issue that she is pulling a Drake right now. Hey, I wasn't hiding my child from the world. I was hiding the world from a child. I'm telling you, it's a thing that she is not taking this boy to be her daddy. Just know it's not gonna happen. And yeah, her dad didn't show up because he doesn't believe in this whole situation in the first place. Just the way she decided to get married. You can tell he's old school, religious. Nah, I don't like it. I'm not gonna be a part of it. Whatever. That's just what it is. But it will, even if I was in that situation, yes, I would start to look funny. Okay, we've been talking together, married for 2 months, and I still haven't met your father. It's almost like you don't want me to meet your father. Is it he doesn't want to meet me, or you don't want me to meet him? Which one is it? Because those are two different things. Two different things there. You know what I'm saying? So her genes was gening. I say that. Her genes was definitely gening. I looked. I took peeks. It was definitely that. But then she started talking, and I'm like, ugh. And I shouldn't say this. As a man saying this about a woman, I should not say this. But the less she talks, the more agreeable I find her to be, the more I like her. And that's just terrible. That's just terrible. That should not be. That should not be. The more she talks, I'm just like, she's not it. She's just not it. Now, Sean might can make it work. I hope he can. I'm pulling for you, brother. Slide in them DMs, see what happens. Hey, you won't know if you try, my brother. You won't know unless you try. I got faith in you, brother. I think you can bring the right energy to her. Oh, it's crickets. It's crickets.
Thank you, please.
It's crickets because he ain't
Can you hit the buzzer? Hit the buzzer for him on that one.
I don't even have it. You're lucky I don't have it with me.
I digress.
Oh man. Oh, listen, but no, I do hear what you both saying. Now I do hear what you're saying on Sean's side, and I do hear what you're saying on Trey's side. But I agree with you, Trey, to say at one point he has only hit it once. When he was in the kitchen, he said about how he basically was saying that they've stopped all progression. You know what I mean? So he hit it once, okay, and we already know what Kirsten said about the sex thing. That if that strikes out, the thing is done. So at this point, it does look like the thing is done. So it's not looking good, bruv. That's what I would say, and I just want to say, look, I do think that Shaq can moan a little bit. I do think Shaq can be a little bit needy, but I think, Trey, you kind of hit it on the head, really. You're going to sound like Shaq very soon yourself if your needs are not being met, and I still haven't forgotten that little joke that you made about this is me. You told me who you were in that £2.3 million house. You told me who you were, and you said that's you. So I'm going to believe that's you. I'm not going to pretend to myself and lie to myself that it isn't you. Okay. And therefore, Most of us are priced out at 2.3 million house. Therefore, she wants none of us. So I think we should all be packing our bags and get ourselves ready to exit the game. But anyway, let me get someone else on. Crystal, go for it. Tell us your thoughts.
I do sorry. I do think two things. First thing I was gonna say, and you guys have already talked about it. Y'all only hit once. Y'all only had sex once. But then at the same time, I am gonna go back to what Trey said. And this woman has taken him through all the emotions. He is confused. He don't know if he's coming or going. So the first week, I am not attracted to you. I don't like you. You talk too much. You politic too much. This, that, and the other. I don't like your jokes. And then, well, I miss him. I wish you could spend more time together. And then, well, this is me. This is the type of house I want. My man's supposed to buy me a car and a house and this, that, and the other. And then, well, I want the attraction. I want the physical. I want the physical touch. Like, this man don't know if he's coming or going. And he don't know what, and that's why he said we would have been further along. He didn't know we would have been further along like the other couple, because he's like, should I be patient? What should I do? So now that he's got the signals that everything's good, now he's like, okay, so we had the sex, but are we still having sex? Like, he don't know what he's coming or going. I don't. Now, I know Sean might say, whose fault is that they haven't had any more sex? That could be her. That could be his fault. I don't know. But I do think she has confused this man. Every week it's something different. Every week, she's got a new either complaint or the communication is down and there's a communication issue and he don't know if he's coming or going. Like, you want on a she may not have wanted a $2.3 million house, but she at least wanted a $500,000 house. She at least wanted something like that. And, they haven't even gotten out of, he's still not graduating. He don't even know, how much what job he's going to have in 6 weeks. So I just feel like she's had him on this roller coaster and he don't know so, and I'll land my plane here. Their conversation at the end, he thought he was fine. He thought, wait a minute, we're not good. She's like, well, I'm not sure how we're doing because we have this communication. And, that makes me think, I'm on the fence. She said to the girls, I'm on the fence. But, in his head, wait a minute, I thought we were doing good. And now I'm on the fence. So that was the conversation they had together. And I thought he did fine going down that hill. And she didn't have to talk him into anything. He was ready to go. So I think that she puts him on the fence all the time. And every time everything's going good, she's a self-sabotager. I'm sorry. She wants to self-sabotage. Something must be wrong with him. So she's waiting for the next ball to drop before she introduces him to daddy. And she don't like him. She's like, this is not gonna last. So I think she's playing the game like Eris a little bit. I think just like Eris said to what's his name to the pretty boy a couple weeks ago. Well, I could get a divorce in a couple weeks. So why stick it out? I had sex. I'm done. Why stick it out? Why have him meet dad if I'm going to be divorced in a month? That's it.
Go for Joe.
Yeah, I think it's everything you guys said, really. At the start, she wasn't feeling him. She made it quite clear to her friends, her cohort, that she wasn't feeling this guy if he looked a certain way. The most she could compliment him on was his blazer. Right? Week after week, there was a barrier put up by her initially, because he did say that he was over the moon. He was excited when he first saw her. He was excited about what potentially could happen in this marriage. and he wasn't getting any reciprocity. She wasn't feeling him. Now they got to the first month anniversary and they still were at that stage. Couple weeks down the line, okay, they've been intimate once, and it's not because they're growing in attraction to each other, because we're not seeing this amorous connection between them. We're not seeing them like a newlywed married couple that are infused to be together, like enthusiastic about it. Yeah, the moment they had that one sex, she started talking about, now you need to buy me a house. So you saw how much he started sweating buckets when she said that. That really frustrated him. Most of that episode, he was going on about that. And we talked about it. So in a way, that sex was literally used as a bargaining tool in one aspect, to say what she wants from him or what she expects from him. And on the other side, to test, if it was really any good if he's really any good in bed. How can he be good in bed when you're not feeling him? She must have been like a wet blanket. She must have been like a mannequin. Because there's no way, despite what Sean or anybody says, there's no way she's been attracted to him enough to really put any investment into a sexual connection or anything. I doubt that very much. I think she's very performative. I also think that there is some truth to her not wanting to introduce him to her father. She holds her father in high regard. So his verdict or judgment or opinions on Shaq, she's going to take that very seriously. And let's be real, if there was an emotional or a love connection there on her side, she would be desperate for her husband to meet her family, right? So she's not. And people have said, yeah, but that she FaceTimed. That's not the same thing as an actual meeting. Like if I bring someone to meet my family, it's a very big deal to me. It's much different than, yeah, I'm with her and we're going to FaceTime my mom and dad and say, have a quick hello. That's very informal. If I bring my partner to meet my family, it's a very formal. They get the chance to ask questions, see nuances. She gets to meet my family and vice versa, right? And it actually strengthens our connection because she knows where I'm coming from and my parents can see who I've chosen to be with. Kirsten hasn't done that, even at this stage with 2 episodes left. So that tells me she's not serious. Now, he has expressed in this episode, look, she put all these barriers up. Week after week, it was different things that he had to do or had to cut out, bits about himself. So, he isn't feeling her anymore. The time when they could have been building their togetherness and having this happy relationship has gone. First, because she played games, not in a malicious way. She just wasn't feeling the guy. But instead of being honest and saying, look, I'm going to quit, like Dom and McKinley, she stayed in the process. Why? You didn't grow into attraction with this guy. You just gave him the cooch one time. That was it. And now she's even asking him for more grace. How much grace do you need? You've had 2 months of grace. He is getting to the point where he's voicing his frustration. He's voicing what he needs and what he expects. And she's done the same thing throughout their process as well. So I see these two both saying no, because I don't see why Kirsten would say yes. She's not attracted to him. And I don't see why Shaq should say yes, because she's ashamed to even bring him around her folks at this point. And if she's waiting on him to buy her a house before she brings him around the folks, then that's even worse. She went to a whole barbecue family function while he wasn't there. And if the family lived locally, I'm sure there are opportunities where they could have met up, even if it's briefly. So yeah, I'm not gonna allow any caping for Kirsten, and I can definitely agree with the smoke for Shaq as well. Shaq is checked out, as he should be. Why would he keep pursuing? Why would he want to be Jasmine in the situation? Why would he want to be optimistic that something's going to change when up to this point they are where they are? So yeah, it's a no for both of them. I think that would be the smart decision.
Sean, do you want to? Because you're the only one who's on Kirsten's side, so I wonder if you could make a case for. And also as well, what was the video that was? What was said between the? Someone said there was a video that she FaceTimed her father and Shaq got to speak to their dad. What was kind of said? I didn't get to see that part.
We didn't see it. She just talked about it on the after show. She
Oh,
said
okay.
that there were several times that she tried to get her father to meet with him, and one time they were in the car together on their way to his, like in his immediate vicinity, and she wanted to bring Shaq by or what have you, but the father, said he was busy or whatever, and they got to talk on the telephone, so
he's been too busy basically to see his, he's been too busy to know who his daughter married, basically.
And this is what I'm saying with that. I just feel like I do understand, and some of y'all on here have lost all concept of being objective. We have swung the pendulum so far that we just want to villainize Kirsten, and I get it. There's just something you just don't like about her. And I can understand that. We all have a right to their opinion. There's something that I see in Shaq, and so why I see, I don't see him as innocent, and I don't just see him as being, abused and dragged to this relationship. I see some issues. So maybe and many have say I'm not objective when it comes to Kirsten. So, but I think I just want somebody who can be down the middle somewhere, and I just, there's no folks playing the middle. We're all extremists. So I just would love to see Trey, you're not on the middle with your bent backbone and your soliloquy about whatever the hell you were talking about. So no, you are not in the middle, and neither am I. So listen, I can call myself out too. But what I will say in response to that is, I can definitely understand how it feels when you didn't get what you want. You're not getting what you want from somebody. And he's still dealing with the pain of that. And I think what's probably being triggered in him, which is why he can't seem to let it go, and he keeps going back in time, and so much so that you all are convinced that she's been complaining about him, because the last 3 episodes, she's not complained about this man. She has we haven't seen it. Now, is it happening behind the scenes? Maybe it is, but we haven't seen it to say she continues to complain and move the needle. She hasn't moved the needle with him, not once in the last 2 to 3 episodes. The last 2 to 3 weeks, she hasn't said, oh, you're not doing this. Oh, you're not doing that. She didn't say that. It's been him telling that he wants more and more and more and more, and all the things that he wants for her to do. We have not heard her make any demands of him. That was in the first part of the season. So yeah, I would just say I call cap on the fact that she's just continuously moved the bar on him, because she is not of late. We've seen more of his side of the story. Now, is that the way it's playing out because of production? Perhaps, but we haven't seen that. I do think that at the end of the day, Kirsten has not given us a lot of depth. So if I'm going to be honest, yeah, I haven't seen layers of depth coming from her at all. Right. So I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like she's waxing poetic every time we turn on our TV screens. No, she is not. What I would say, though, on the other side of that is if anybody's, saying she's just stringing him along, she has told him, I'm not sure. So if she wanted to manipulate him, she would say, well, I'm saying a yes. She said when was asked, I have some doubts. And Shaq has some doubts. So I would say they're in the same place, and rightfully so, because they're doubting if they can really truly be together, which I don't think they can, because they are not a good match, for a variety of reasons, right? And then lastly, I'll say that, yeah, I'm definitely saying if we can't at the very least say that that's a little bit problematic, that he says we'd be further along than Chris and Nicole. First of all, why are you measuring yourself by another couple's progress? You don't compare. We know what comparison does. So no, because Chris and Nicole have their own set of issues. They're their own separate marriage, and they are not, winning the marriage Olympics by any stretch of the imagination from what we can see. And I'm, hoping we'll dive into them too. So don't judge yourself by them. Yeah, do they seem to like each other? Sure. Do they seem to be in love? Who knows? But that for me is he wants to compete. He wants to win. He wants to be the best. And for me, it's not about that. You should be wanting to get to know your wife, wanting to do the things that she wants you to do the same way you want her to do things that you want to do, right? And don't say, oh, because you're not doing it, I'm not doing it. You start playing that tit for tat, the petty games, you're going to be in relationship purgatory. So I'm done.
Thank you, Sean. And as he said that we are not balanced for Kirsten and Shaq. And you're right, we're not balanced because it's unbalanced. It is unbalanced, unfortunately. Your girl out here has been tripping since episode 1. But I'm not gonna say she hasn't got better. I'm not gonna say she hasn't improved. I'm not gonna say she hasn't put more input and more effort in. I'm not gonna say that at all. I definitely think she has. And I definitely think there is issues on both sides. We've spoken about some of the communication issues. We even laughed and joked about the in her mouth. So we all have got on Shaq at some point on this particular season. We spent 2 hours talking about the that he was failing to execute. Okay, so we remember how bad that was. But I will have to say once more again, would you not be concerned if you had not met the father of the bride that you said you were going to be with? Would you not be concerned after she spoke so highly of her father, bragging about how great he was, talking like he is Clark Kent of the town and how amazingly good he is, and yet you can only meet him through a FaceTime? And a FaceTime which she described, which wasn't put on camera, which for me is even more sus that she's telling me about it, because I'm like, why wouldn't they show that? That's beautiful. Why wouldn't they show that? Because that's not even a narrative that they need to run with. So why wouldn't they even show that? So that for me personally, is a bigger issue. And that's what I'm saying. Like personally, I think there's a deeper lining issue here, which is with Kirsten and Shaq. And I think to myself, yes, he can do a better job in terms of communication. Yes, he can be very snappy. In fact, yes, he can be condescending at points. I've seen that. We agree on that, in the way that he can be a teacher almost sometimes at points with her. And that's a turn off, and that can be frustrating. And I'm guessing that probably is triggering as well for her trauma, because it does. It sounds like she raised herself, which is why I'm like, I need her to get out of the delusion that her father was this amazing guy. Because if you're really that amazing, you would come to see your daughter. I'm just going to tell you straight. You would have come, seen your daughter at this point in time, at least, right? So all that other stuff, let's sort the cap. Let's sort the cap. You don't even have to come on camera. That's the bullcrap I'm talking about. It's like, you don't have to come on camera. Who told you to come on camera? You can come down and see your daughter. It could be off camera. You tell them, listen, I'm gonna see you both off camera. You ain't even doing that. So how special can he be? No, I'm sorry, I got to question that, and that makes me think that also as well that if that's the case, you know, I got to look at what kind of connection she actually had with Kirsten, because it's affecting the relationship too, and how she views the man. So, you know, because she's making him out to be this Disney prince. So, and that's what I'm being compared to. So I'm really losing. I'm really in a losing game every time I do communicate my needs and my issues. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that he's the only one. She's the only one. We definitely agree that there is issues on Shaq's side when it comes to the way he communicates, the style in the way he communicates, even the timing to how he communicates. We spoke about this, Sean, about the spa situation. That wasn't the time for him to start making to be digging at her. You know, she was in the mood for the Mushu. You know, and he spoke that moment. So we agree, and we agree that his skills in terms of creating the atmosphere for it to go down is not great. These are workable things that he needs to work on. So I agree, but I'm going to tell you this for sure. I need you to stop the cap. Okay, I need to get off her train, Sean. Leave Kirsten alone. Okay, leave Kirsten alone. You will be her next victim. I just want to tell you because I love you, bro. Because I love you the most. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to see you go down bad, okay? Because it won't be her back broke. It'll be yours if you go there, okay? Or that 2.3 million house you're going to spend, you're going to be paying them bills for a very long time, sir, okay?
Trust me. How long have you known me?
Huh?
How long have
long
you known
enough.
me?
Long enough
Okay.
to know that you
So
wouldn't
you
ever
know
do that.
Good and hell well.
I don't want you to know.
You know good and hell well. It'll be a frigidly Alaska, Antarctica type day in hell before I buy somebody some $2.9 million house. So yeah, no, it ain't gonna happen, Captain.
You're gonna be the hunchback of Notre Dame trying to carry that.
I just need y'all to give y'all capes a rest. Somebody just hang your cape. I think all four of y'all just need to put your capes on the back of your closets and hang out because Cap, what's his name? Shaq has a bunch of capes for him tonight, boy. Y'all are the Royal Rangers, the Little Black Book Rangers here with your capes for Shaq, and then y'all can go on. I'll take it.
Sure,
but
you
look,
can't talk about capes, bro. You just cannot talk about capes.
I gave as balanced a perspective as I could, and if y'all don't want to hear what I'm saying, then y'all can just choose to not hear what I'm saying. I said she doesn't have the most depth. We clearly know this woman. We've spoken about it. She has daddy issues. So I'm sorry. I will never hold her accountable for what her daddy is not doing. That's the worst thing in the world. If you have a father that is not coming through for you, and she has deluded herself into thinking he is this magnificent person, and that comes from a place of trauma, we cannot hold her accountable for not meeting him, because we have seen him, again, mind you, the wedding he did not attend.
How long did you like me? Like how long?
Pretty much since the first day I got to Abbott.
Really? Me too. But I couldn't really admit it.
What is that?
Right.
Yeah.
You're on mute, Kojo.
Lucky she was watching Nothing Crazy, because that was coming straight through.
Like you watching Abbott Elementary in the background, Crystal? Oh my God.
She was.
That's why you forgetting what episodes, what happened, because you
I'm so sorry. The sound is on another
the wrong show. I do
How
love
did
the
you know?
show.
I thought it was on mute.
I was like, is that
I'm
Abbott
so confused
Elementary in
myself.
the background?
No.
I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That's how it looks like when Kirsten's listening to Shaq. That's all she hears.
I'm not gonna hold you. Sometimes it looks like nope, somebody's home, but the lights are not on. I can tell you that I'm not even gonna hold you. She be giving blank stares. I'm telling you, it definitely looks that way. I'm not even gonna sit up here and cap around that. Definitely, she be having some blank looks behind her eyes. The lights don't look like they be on. So
yeah, you still want to save her.
I don't want to save her. What is this? What you want to save Shaq?
Why you gonna drown with this girl?
She don't
want
to
drown with this girl.
What'd you say?
Shaq can go drown in the river for all I care. It don't matter. He did it to
Yeah,
himself.
and I mean, listen, I can
He did
two things can be true at the same time. I can think that Kirsten is attractive, but I can also see some issues in this relationship, and I definitely think she'd be looking like a deer in headlights. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like she's without fault. No, she is not. Walking around here on water, but she's thicker than a snicker.
So
back
you
in
like the
beautiful.
movie Bambi?
I
We're
like
back here
my
again.
little
Like
energy.
the movie Bambi. Like, we get it. You like Bambi. We get it.
I don't mind that. I don't mind a little, that can work for me. Not probably all the time, but it can work for me. But yes, you said it, Cherry. She's a bit of a space cadet. I can see it. But look, she got some depth to her. She told him, "Oh, that's a wet room," when he was talking about the shower. So she knows her real estate.
Her real estate, yes. But you said we can't hold her accountable for her daddy issue situation. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. If it shows up in a relationship with us, we can. I can't hold her accountable for her dad not necessarily turn out. But what I'm saying is, can you be delusional enough to be able to start comparing me to your dad when your dad ain't as great as you said he is?
Oh no,
You know what I mean?
I'm with you on that. That's
Oh,
all
okay,
I'm saying is
okay.
we can't hold her accountable for her father not showing up.
Oh,
That
okay.
part I think is a little rough to hold her accountable when she clearly has daddy issues and the father hasn't done everything that she's purported him to do. She's delusional, right? So we can't say, "Oh, you should be making your dad show up," when her dad has shown that he doesn't show up for her. So I think that part is a little hard. The rest of the family, I mean, he wants to meet the brothers, the cousins, the nephews, and them. Yeah, she could have done a better job at just incorporating him into the family for sure.
A better job, or she
I will
avoiding it?
not. I will not. I won't pretend like that's not an issue, and it's not
A better
something
job
I
or
would be
avoiding it,
concerned
Sean?
about that. What you said?
Well, a better job, or is she avoiding it, Sean?
Okay, she's avoiding it. I'm not trying to avoid saying anything. I don't mind admitting that. Yeah.
Would you be? How would you feel if you
I
were
would be
trying to marry
concerned.
someone?
Yeah, of course. I
Uh-huh.
wouldn't be comfortable, staying in a relationship or a marriage knowing that I can't meet my wife's family. No, I know that is absolute. That's a legit concern. I'm not saying he shouldn't be concerned about that. I'm not.
Okay. No worries. I appreciate you, Sean.
Now, what are you willing to concede about?
I'm gonna do a C-way, and I ain't gonna see the night. Okay.
No, I got you.
Please.
Listen, I got you. Shaq is a crybaby. Shaq needs to grow up. Shaq needs to grow a pair if he don't have none already. Is that balance enough? I'm just saying.
It's
We
somewhat.
already
I
know
swear
this.
you had some sauce tonight. I swear you had some sauce today. I swear. Because you on 10. But I
Nah.
think that's the balance. That's moving the needle a little. So I appreciate it.
Listen, I'm at a cool 6 tonight. This is me at a 6. That's all it is. This is just 6.
Hate to see you at a cool 10. JR, do you have any additions before we move on?
Yeah, look, I think we're making too much of this daddy issue situation. Like, she has an idea of how her father is with her. She has a relationship with him. It's not like he's excommunicated her and he doesn't talk to her anymore. He's very present. He just isn't present in terms of meeting Shaq. She can FaceTime him, she can call him, she can go to the cookout, family events, and probably still see him there. All right? This isn't someone that's abandoned her and then she's taken some trauma into the marriage and then she views Shaq as this demon based on how her father's treated her. That's not what's happening. She checked out of this relationship very early. And then when he started saying, look, if it stays like this, I'm saying no on decision day. That's when you started seeing her coming around a little bit. So we're not going to get into Coochie Gate because we've already covered that. All right. But the thing is, Shaq is definitely acting up now. Not in the sense where he's throwing a tantrum and all of it, but what he's doing is he's saying, look, I realized the play. You didn't want me when I wanted you before. Now, I don't know, you know, I don't know if I can even open up to you in the same way that I did initially. I think that train has left the platform and is long gone. She's asking him to be the same way he was with her initially now, after all the weeks where she was putting up barriers, then it's unrealistic. That's where we're at. So no decision day for both of them would be the smartest thing to do, because I guarantee all of us on the panel, if we were in a relationship, marriage like they are, and we were attracted to and proud of our accomplishment of finally getting married after all these years of trying or wanting it for so long, you would want to show your partner off to your family, to your parents especially. And I assume for girls, it's for women, it's different, because women grow up kind of, wanted. Most women, some women, grow up having an idea of wanting to be a wife, wanting the wedding, wanting the ceremony. So to have your family there, like your parents there, to have your back and give you their blessing, that's huge. She hasn't received that from her father, who she looks up to. She doesn't mention her mother as much at all. She talks about the dad more. So how is he going to give the blessing on their union if he doesn't even meet Shaq? So I think it's something that could have been done by now if she either wanted it or the dad wanted it. The fact of the matter is, I don't think there's much willingness to do it, because it's a wrap. Doesn't matter what Shaq does. If Shaq goes and buys her a house, he's a damn fool, because she ain't staying. And then if she starts to, acquiesce to a lot of his demands, she's, it's not going to solve the issue that the attraction was still a major problem. And it's something that he's not gotten over. And how can he? The things that she outlined that she didn't find attractive are things that he can't physically change. He can go and get a hair transplant or something in Turkey. But that's superficial. So at the end of the day, you're right, she doesn't show much depth because she doesn't have any. She seems very simple. And I'm not saying she's not intelligent, because she does have a career and all these other things, but I'm talking about, she seems like it's literally, you do this for me, I do this for you. And that's if I like you. And I think Shaq is, I liked her initially. Now I'm turned off. Now I'm confused. I don't know what to do. She doesn't like my sense of humor. She doesn't like when I mansplain and get my grown man on and try and show her that I'm educated. She don't like nothing about the brother. She's picked apart so many different things. So I think we can just both, we can see that both of these people are not going to be a successful marriage. The emotional connection, the intimacy, all the variables, all the boxes, they're not being ticked on both sides. That's it. I wish it could have gone differently, because it's a black couple, and both of them are, Sean says Kirsten is visually all that. She's the bangers. Shaq, a lot of people say, oh, he's got feminine tendencies and all the rest of it, but visually, he could be a lot worse. He ain't Flavor Flav, or he ain't Craig Mack or anyone like that. So this is a black couple that ideally, like when you see them visually, initially, you would have said, okay, this, let's see how this works. I did. But as the season's gone on, there's no hope for them two. No way. It's not quite as bad as Aris and Jasmine, because Aris is solely at fault. But in this case, you know, they both reached a stage now where it's just not gonna happen.
So I just like to know, after, you know, she done got blessed out by his mama via FaceTime, right? About what she needs to do. What have we seen Shaq do for her? What has he done for her during any of the episodes that we've seen? What moves has he made to alter on some of the requests that she has made of him?
Nothing to not enough.
Well, he stopped telling the jokes.
That's
He
not
stopped-
bad.
He what else was there? He stopped talking about the plants. He's given her grace for her not being attracted to him multiple times. Apart from that, all she's asked for is the house. She hasn't asked for anything else. Grace and a house.
He helped her with the website. I don't
Helped
know
her
if
with
they
her website,
finished it.
yeah.
Website and her business cards and something else. So there was two things with her business. She asked him and he did that with no problem.
Yeah, we might be reaching. We're reaching hard for it.
Thank you, Trey. Because I'm like, what?
What has she done?
What has she done?
I'm sorry,
What has
what
she done?
I don't
Nothing.
remember.
I think the
Tried
point is
to agree
really
to support him. She
What?
ran out of the room
she didn't go-
after he
didn't
stormed
go on
out
the trip
that
to
dinner.
support
She
him.
agreed
That's
to
a
support
reach.
Let his mama
reaching.
bless her out and tell her about all the things that he
Her mother
wants
was
to
not blessing her out. The
That's
mom
a
said
reach.
That was on the
exactly
phone.
what she
Come
wanted.
on.
That mom said exactly what he told her. The mom just got off the phone with Shaq, so she just reiterated the information. But what has she done?
Listen, no, hold on. Listen, let's just keep it real. They really haven't done anything for one another significantly. That's just basically what we're looking at here. If you look at both sides, and we're going to be fair and honest, they really haven't done anything for each other significantly. You know, so there's still, I hate to say it like this, to Shaq's point, they're still in the same spot they were in week one. They haven't gone anywhere. This relationship is not serving. They haven't gone anywhere. Now all of a sudden you want to act like, okay, we're moving along. You're not. You're still in the same spot. No, we still are asking the question, do she even like him? Because let's keep it real. She don't respect him. Basically call this man not a man. We all know what she was talking about. Let's just not even play about that. And you wonder why Shaq is getting sassy. Because you challenging his manhood. You know, they're in the same spot. It's just let it go. Love TKO, something. Let it go. Just let it go. It's bad. Like, if we're being honest here, they are not serving each other at all. There's no service going back and forth here. To Kirsten's point, their communication is horrible. They can't effectively communicate with one another. Because most of the time, they're not hearing one another. To what we were saying earlier, people are talking, but the lights ain't on in the house. That means you ain't listening. That's a failure to listen to what your partner is saying, and you can equate that with both sides of the coin here. It's a failure to listen to one another. You know, they still both, especially Shaq. I'll say this, especially Shaq. They still have, well, I think it's a little more equal, but Shaq gets more vocal with it. It's still a very me mentality with the both of them. It's all about me. You know, like they listened to Maya back in the day. It's all about me. When y'all supposed to be married, it's about each other. You service each other. That's how each other's needs are met. When you service each other, not just worrying about, ooh, this is what I need. I'm not getting it, so I'm mad. I'm upset. That's more your Shaq. And Kyrus is like, and what he say? I wasn't listening. What? What he said? Oh, I mean, he said something that like that's they're not serving each other. Now it's funny to me because I find it entertaining. Hey, this is funny. Make me laugh. Thank you for providing me a show that I can watch. I can laugh at these people. Thank you. Give it to me all day. That's why I don't take all this that seriously. You know, I find it funny as heck. You know, until it get too serious, and then you're like, okay, let's dial it back. But come on, they're not serving each other. We saw this from day one. She didn't like that boy. As soon as he walked down the aisle, saw his shiny head, she was like, oh no, it's not gonna work. She started tearing him down from the moment that she saw him. Day one, she started tearing him down. Now he was into her, and he should be. She fine. Who wouldn't be? But I could see in Shaq's mind, yes, she's fine. She's not dumb. She's an intelligent woman. But you know what it is? I know a girl like Kirsten. This is what it is. Kirsten is a very intelligent woman. But unfortunately, she lacks common sense. There it is. She lacks common sense.
I think that's a comprehensive breakdown of our good sis, Sean's wife. So let's leave her alone and move on from. Oh, Sean, you want to say something? Go for it. You want to?
Yeah, I would say that although I don't really completely agree, what I would say is they both are not making inroads with each other. So I can accept that before I can say that he's doing more work than she is, because he's definitely not. So I would definitely concede to that point. They both are not giving work or working to make the marriage work. So I can accept that for sure. You know, because her effort, as much or as little as it is, it's not enough for him. And I really haven't seen much that he's done. So, you know, I would say they're at a fair point, you know, with each other in terms of effort. They're at the same point, rather.
Sean, my brother, what you just described was compromise. You know how to employ it. They don't. Plain and simple. We haven't seen it with not a one of them.
Yeah.
No compromisation.
Y'all done? Fantastic. All right, cool. Kirsten, I hope you're watching, and I hope you have Sean's number. All right, cool. Next couple, we're going to break down. We're going to talk about, obviously, Gina and Clint, because it looks like that. I mean, I don't know what more Gina wants from Clint to do, but the brother has been positive all the way through. He seems to be, trying his hardest. There was a little needle move. The needle moved just a little bit for Gina. So I think it was quite interesting. I thought I was quite interested watching them too. I know they're not going to stay together. I know that already, but the needle did move a little bit. Clint has tried and tried and tried and tried again. It is Gina who seems like the biggest problem in this situation, and she's unwilling to fold. It really was that one comment about her body that caused her to be in the situation. So I don't know what you guys think about Gina and Clint. What's your thoughts on that? Yes, Crystal.
Gina was talking about the same. She was saying the same thing that what's her name, Jasmine was saying. Well, I signed up to be a wife, not a best friend. And I was like, Gina's acting like this is his fault. Like she really does believe that she is not at fault in this and that she has been trying. And I was like, y'all are the best of friends. You're not going to say yes on decision day. It's done, right? And then I feel like maybe production, they kind of created this tension that they're going to have to sleep together in the same bed. Okay, so whatever. They haven't done it since the honeymoon. Okay. But when she started playing on this, well, I signed up to be a wife and not a best friend, and we're we've friend zoned each other, and so I was like, Clint's been just the nice, most amiable person. He's been really trying, and he said he wants more Gina time, and she's like, I can get with that, but so after you got through this hurdle, were you waiting for him to make a move? Were you waiting for him? After this storm off, I was like, girl, you were waiting for the wrong thing. After you played all of that, after you played that at the honeymoon, all he sees is your work. All he sees is your work ethic. He doesn't see the other side of Gina. And that's exactly what he didn't want. So yeah, I was like, girl, you really think that this is his fault? You really think that she's putting this on his shoulders? That's all. That's the impression I got. That's it.
I am a believer in our good senator from Tennessee. This white Republican got my vote. I said it. I believe in Senator Clint. We need to get him reelected. Find him another wife. I believe in this man. Yo, this Clint is the only husband that was really trying. Like, just genuine effort. You can feel it from him. Like, I'm just genuinely trying here to at least even build a friendship with this woman. And Gina is basically giving a half friendship. Like, he got a better friendship with Hank than her. He's saying Hank in his sleep now. Hank, come here, sit beside me. Like, it's crazy. Like, and I thought it was real funny. I felt for Clinton this one moment when they had to sleep in the same bed together, and they haven't slept in the same bed since the honeymoon. And I don't care what he said. I know he was trying to play it cool. I saw the nervousness all in his face. He was literally like, okay, how is this going to go? Like, is this going to be cool? Is this going to be okay? Is there a chance? I saw it in his face. He was calculating, like, is there a chance here? Is this something? Could it be something? And Regina, it's a no. Like, there's moments it seems like she's trying to give him hope or give the situation hope, and then she just slams the door. Like, nah, it's not happening. Like, and like, this is the first time I've actually seen someone, and I'm like, yo, I think they need to bring Clint back on for another season, rematch this guy, and give him a fair shot. Now, this is the first time I've actually said this and watched the season, like, you know what? Nah, this man needs another shot. Just one more shot. Because this is just bad. This is a bad setup from the beginning. And Crystal was right. He is trying to. She's trying to put the blame on him. Like, she really is. And the show did try to help her in the beginning during that whole fiasco at the honeymoon. Like, we didn't watch you said what you said to Clint first about him having red hair. But all of a sudden you want to forget that you said that you started this. This is you started. You know, you didn't care from the get go. So now all of a sudden you wanna be friends or whatever. Then you come around. Oh, but I didn't come on here just to make friendships. But that's exactly what you put this man in. You friend zone this man. Oh my man. Excuse me. You friend zone this man. Like, what do you expect? And now he's just sitting there, just we need to save Clint. We just need to save this guy. We need to save him. We need to save Clint. He's the life of the party. No matter what's going on, he's gonna get it started. You can appreciate a guy like that. Like, you know what? Hey, I mean, he go outside and hug Yogi the Bear, which was crazy. I was like, Clint, get your butt back in the house. What you doing? And I've been around bears myself. I could be a mountain man. But nah, we ain't going outside, bro. Why are you going outside to go pet bears? Leave the bears alone. They ain't doing nothing to you. He was right. As long as you don't bother them, they really won't bother you. But you ain't got to go outside and try to pet them. Like, nah, we don't need all that. Take your butt back in the house. I was actually with Eris on that. Man, where you going? Why are you going outside? This is not it. But I don't know. It just, when they, I just saw this comments. When they eventually say no to each other, I really think Clint needs to win Hank in the divorce. Just give him Hank. He deserves Hank. Like, have you noticed Hank seems to act better with Clint as he does with his own master? Like, he wants to change sides too. He want to change sides. Like, yo, yes. Hank needs to be with Clint. We need to set a petition up. A petition. I can't say the word. We need to set up a petition. Hank for Clint. Let's do this. It started here on Little Black Book 91. Let's do it. Hank for Clint. Vote for Senator Clint.
Thank you, Trey. Crystal?
What did you guys think of his answers during the pageant? That was the only thing. JR, you can go, but I was just wondering about that.
Listen, Clint is leading with his personality, and he has charisma, very self-confident, despite what Gina may think of his ginger hair and ginger roots. He hasn't let it faze him. His humor is contagious in the group. And I think even Gina likes him to an extent, but it's just not a romantic connection in any way, shape, or form. Largely because she's still punishing him for having the unmitigated gall to comment anything about her while she was railroading him for the few times that she did it beforehand. So, there are some people that might take that whole incident, what she said, very personally and just act a completely different way. But Clint has used it to, eloquently put forward what he really meant by the comment, and even given more context, reminding her that she started it. But now it's not tit for tat anymore, because I think his personality, his humor has kind of shone through. And I can see why a lot of people like him. I think when this is over, because it will be over, because like I said, Gina's not going to automatically find Ginger attractive. This is the problem. If someone states their preference and it's something that you can't do anything about, right, then literally they're cutting off their nose to spite their face, because then it makes me believe that their connection is not going to be genuine. You've based it on something superficial. But I think Clint is going to be back out there. He talked early in the season about how prolific he was in the dating scene. He's going to be back out there because there are a lot of women who will appreciate his sense of humor, won't be put off by the ginger hair, admire his or like his, be attracted to his confidence. So, you know, Gina probably missed out on a good dude for superficial reasons. She might not regret it, but you know, Gina seems to be all about work. You know, all of her friends seem to be in the salon, and that's what she does. You know, whether she would find the time to have a relationship that leads to marriage, who knows? But she definitely missed the boat on Clint.
You on? We can't hear you, Coach.
Yo, you hear me?
You now we can. Yeah. Now we can.
So my internet went off as always. But JR's finished. Who's next?
I think me. All right. Everybody else went already, I believe, right? Yeah. Well, listen, you just checked out for a minute, just like Gina is checked out, but she's been checked out since episode 1. So, you know, we hear this word projecting thrown around a lot across social media, YouTube, and all that good stuff. Well, if anybody's projecting, Gina is projecting, because every time she talks, she speaks her experience for Clint. I'm tired of being in the friend zone. I don't, you know, I have enough friends. So do something about it, right? Either state what it is, state, you know, I don't think we genuinely have a connection, but don't use words that give the impression that you're being friend zoned. You know, Clint has shown us that he is willing, and honestly, he said it. Gina is not his type either, but he's willing to give it a go. He's willing to try. So y'all be telling us attraction grows maybe for a small percentage of women, but not Gina, because she is not showing us that she's willing to allow her attraction to grow, right? And y'all tell us that y'all look at attraction is different. No, it's not. Not in all cases. Maybe in a hand select or a small few, but for the most part, Gina is a living, breathing example of it. And for some of you, even y'all may say and argue that same for Kirsten. And that's why she don't want Shaq. And it's the same way that Gina don't want Clint, because she got an idea of her type in her mind and she will not move from it. But the problematic part about her is that she will wiggle and put it on Clint versus owning what it is. Just say, I'm just not attracted to him and I don't think that we could be a match. But don't say I'm tired of being friends, like he is intentionally putting you in a friend space. You are. She came to bed in the most silly pajamas. Now, there's nothing wrong with the shorts and the top that she had on theoretically to wear to bed. But if you are trying to move past the friend zone, that is not what you come to bed wearing. You know, and we put a lot on Kirsten, but she definitely has come to bed wearing some nice outfits. Okay, so even if it's performative, she's doing the performance. Gina's not even going to fake it for us, but then going to turn around and say, oh, I wish that I didn't come on this show to find a friend. Well, what are you, ma'am, doing about it? I think we have. She's always speaking. No, you're not at a place in a position to do the we speak. You know, don't start speaking French. You know, parlez anglais. Don't parler français, because the we's you haven't gotten there yet. and she's doing too much wheeze. Oh, we've taken the advice of the experts. You have done nothing, ma'am. Clint is more bonded with the dog than he is with her. And that says a lot. We talk about that almost every episode. It says a lot that he has bonded so well with this dog in such a short period of time. He's there. He's not out of the house. He's not doing other things. Because I tell you one thing, I'd be out that house. If production is like, well, you got to stay until, you know, you're going to get a fine and blah, 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 this clause and that clause, I'd be out that house every night. Probably up here on YouTube with y'all streaming from somewhere else. Because ain't no way I'm going to sit in that uncomfortable space where she's not giving him an inch. She's not giving anything. She didn't even lean in to give him a hug goodnight, a kiss goodnight, not even a kiss on the lips, nothing. The experts told her to move the needle and, you know, maybe start talking more about, you know, your needs, your wants, your desires. She had the ick. She was like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Ooh, I don't want to, ooh. You know, it's torture sitting up here watching her carry on the way she carries on. And, you know, she's going to be, she don't want friends. Well, she's going to be with them same friends. They're going to be the golden girls if she don't cut it out and make some different options.
I was also just going to say.
Go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say that Clint even, he was so nervous about sharing the bed with her after all this time, right? That he said, why don't they sleep outside? he was that nervous. So that shows you where, you know, the state of where they are. And she was down for it too. She said, I'll do it.
Oh, gracious king. Anyway, sorry. Has anyone else got a point? Anyone else got a point with Gina and Clint? Go for it.
You over them. You're over Gina and Clint. Or what you laughing at? I want to know the comment you saw that made you laugh. That's what I want to know.
I'm reading our chat. That's
oh. Crystal is wreaking havoc in the private chat. Yeah, no, I don't really have much to say about them. I mean, I do think Clint's a good time guy. You know, he's got and I don't, why do y'all think he got you know, he got fourth? So he didn't even, you know, they just killed him in the pageant. You would think somebody like him, he would have got a lot of points for congeniality and all that good stuff, but they put him fourth. I think they did Clint dirty.
I agree with you on that. I think they did him a little dirty on that too, because he was just.
I think that was Jenna's fault.
Peacocking, yes.
Yeah, I think that was Jenna's fault. Because the funny thing is, I think Clint actually gave the realest answers to the pageant questions. Like, realistically thinking, he gave some of the realest answers. I was like, ooh. Even though he was he was kind of being serious, even when he said, hey, yeah, I think there should be a penalty to get in divorce. I said, oh, really? That might work. I found that one interesting. But yeah, I don't think Gina, you know, if you notice during the pageant, pretty much each wife was like an African for their own husband, so they had to boost them up, this and that, third, and yeah, you know, Gina wasn't put boosted Clint up for nothing. The only thing she was like, I told him about the man bud. I told him to get the man bud. Like, she wanted that validation about, hey, yes, I told him to get the man bud. That was me. That was me. That was all me. I'm like, okay. Yeah.
What Kojo, what did can we ask about the answers? Because I think every guy's answer was telling too about their thoughts. I think, what was the question, if they could be a marriage counselor, what kind of advice they would give?
I don't remember the half the questions. I can't even lie to you.
I
If
think
you
they
remember the
all
questions, go
were
for it.
reflective and spoke to the person.
How do you mean?
Well, I think Clint's answers were all over the place. Shaq talked about be the best version of yourself. So be good for you so you can be good for somebody else. So unselfish, like I've been saying. Okay. Okay. So
Me.
thank you, Trey. So at least I'm not going to be called pandering. Oh, see where you said you remember. I don't. Aris's answers were actually good. I think that's why he won. What did he say?
But he
said,
doesn't walk the walk. So Aris was the one that said that find out what your partner likes and do for them, and really find out about your partner and be that person to them, and something like that. And I was like, what are you talking about? That's not what you do.
Jasmine prepped him. Jasmine prepped him for every answer he gave. It's not a coincidence that she was, as the pageant queen, she was emceeing the whole situation, all for them to go to the end for her to say, "Hey, I'm the pageant queen. Now I got my pageant king." That's what that phrase is for. That's how I knew Aris was going to win. I was like, Aris is going to win this. He's given all the right answers, and all these right answers sound like Jasmine wrote them all for him. I'm like, yeah, this is setup. I see what it is. It's setup.
and I would argue that all those things are very telling of the person, right? Because if we have seen Aris be performative and look to say all the right things, but it not be substantive, right? So the answer he gave, although it was a good answer, just like you said, Crystal, it doesn't match his actions, but it reflects Aris. Shaq's answer wasn't a good answer because yes, in a marriage, should you be whole before you come into it, but you shouldn't be so overly focused on yourself that you should be focusing on yourself while the other person is you should be focusing on the other person's needs while the other person is focusing on your needs. So it should be reciprocity coming and going. But his mind, he needs to be his best self first, so everything is about him. And that is what is a problem in the marriage. And again, I'm just talking about from the men's perspective. I'm not saying Kirsten is perfect in this instance. I'm just speaking to how their answers gave light to how they operate and move in their marriage. And then there was Chris, and then Clint. Clint's answers were ridiculous. I don't remember exactly what he said, but they were jumbled and unclear. And he's jumbled and unclear in the marriage. Because there ain't one. And Chris, who knows what he said? Because he don't know either. And he thinks he's in love with Nicole. And we know that ain't true. So I thought that little part of it was very telling about the couples.
I think Shaq's answers were like, they came across as very selfish. It was all about him. Like, it's all about what the person needs to do for themselves. And I get it. We've already discussed where they are in terms of their relationship. But Shaq's answers were definitely signaled to me that he checked out. He's thinking about himself at this point. Because there's no way that he was directing that at Kirsten, because she already thinks about herself. So yeah, that was very telling for me. I think Clint, like I said, he just came on with some bravado. I didn't even take Clint's answers too serious, to be honest, because when he got the man bun, the way he strutted out in front of everyone, the way he was dancing and gyrating and all the stuff he was doing, it was definitely performative. Aris, man, he spoke probably the most truth, but it was Aris saying it, and he's absolutely the opposite of what he was talking about. Yeah. So that was a contradiction. And Chris, Chris came out with that wig, man. So I was like, boy, like Chris is turning it into a joke thing as well. But Chris and Nicole are pretty much stable enough, and I'm sure we're going to talk about them shortly anyway. But this whole love thing, we're going to see when we talk about it. We'll discuss it. But he knows full well that he only said that because he was appeasing her, appeasing Nicole. But it was a joke moment. The pageant, the male pageant, was literally a way to lighten the mood and bond the couples with each other in a way through humor. It wasn't a serious thing. Because Aris shouldn't have won nothing. Let's be real.
I think you lot done Gina and Clint justice. On to the next one, baby. All right, cool. Last couple.
You tired? You like, we're not gonna be here for long. We're gonna have a good time.
We ain't.
It's not a long time.
We ain't. I'm aiming for the 2.5 hour mark.
Yeah, I see you. I see where you're going. I smell what you're cooking. You're like, we're not gonna be before you, but for long.
No. Sleep is calling me. All right, Chris and Nicole. Chris and Nicole. I'm trying to remember all their parts. I should really go to my notes. But who has any thoughts on Chris and Nicole? What was your thoughts on them this week as well? Someone called Nicole a brat in the audience. I don't know about that, but what's your thoughts?
I'm gonna say that car situation with Nicole and Chris. I actually, I'm agreeing with Nicole in this situation. We got 2 weeks. We've already decided that we're gonna stay together. We're already, decide we really, we're saying the L with the love thing. And he's very Mr. Procrastination, Mr. Oh, well, it'll work itself out. And to me, girl, or man, like, let's make a decision. Let's discuss this. So I guess she's already said, okay, we're already saying the L word. So I don't want to do this. Oh, well, we got our own spaces. I want to figure this out. So I'm glad it sounds like she has reneged on the previous thing about let's keep our own places. Let's keep separate places for now for like 9 months. So they're really trying to reassess. But he's like, oh, well, it'll figure itself out. Oh, we'll just work it out. We'll just work it out. They're trying to find a place that'll accept 3 dogs. That's an issue. He's just so not flippant, but he's Mr. Procrastination, and it's no big deal. You have to listen. We got 2 weeks. Put some urgency in it. I'm not. Don't just wait around until things just work themselves out, and then you sitting there with 3 dogs and no place to live. So I do think he needs to, have some more backbone about him, and I can't find the word right now, but more than just procrastination, it's more than that. And so she's annoyed, and I don't blame her on that point. And so I do. And she's like, just say something. I'm waiting for you to say something. And all he could come up with was, it's the weekend. Let's enjoy our getaway. And then we'll talk about it on Monday. Come Monday, this girl gonna be in his face. And he's like, okay, Monday's here. Let's discuss this. What are we going to do? And to me, I'm thinking and moving at the same time. He better have an answer for her on Monday. So he needs to not just be like, oh, well, like, it's the vacation. Okay. She accepted that 2 days. Come Monday, you need to say something. Yeah, that's it for now. I'm agreeing with her on this point. On this point, you need to come up with something, like say something more than, oh, well, it'll work itself out. That's a situation. You got 3 dogs. That's not just light in 2 weeks. That's it for now. For now.
Who's next? I mean, I probably wouldn't have addressed an issue like that on a long drive, but I hear what you're saying. Who wants to go? Who wants to tackle it next? See where you want to go?
Sure. Good evening, everyone.
What the hell? See wait.
Good evening. My first reaction is that she just doesn't know time, place, or manner. She just seems like one of those people who can just like ruin a wet dream. I mean, her statements were valid. Her issues were valid, but it just didn't seem like the time. I remember watching it and I started screaming at the TV. I was like, girl, not right now. Not today. Enjoy y'all drive. Enjoy the scenery. Look out the window. I don't know. It just didn't seem like the time. But what I will say is that, you know, most women want a man with direction and leadership. And if you have 3 dogs that need to find a house plus y'all 2, I mean, it's very annoying to have a man that is not prioritizing finding you guys a place to live. I understand that grievance, and he needs to show some initiative and be a leader with that, because it's very agitating to have to worry about that every day. And personally, we don't want to have to tell nobody the same thing 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So he needs to help her with that and stop making Nicole be the man in their relationship, because she's doing too much. She's overdoing her part and he's not doing enough. Other than that, I personally understood her annoyance with being the last one to the house, even though all the rooms were the same. So it's kind of like, that's a lesson just to calm your anxiety, because it's all going to be okay. And yeah, and then the I love you thing. That man just said I love you because he's tired of her asking. And I just feel like you don't ever want to be in that position. Like, don't make somebody just tell you something because they're tired of hearing your mouth. That's just not a good position to be in. Does he like her a lot? I really do believe he likes her a whole lot. But I would want that I love you to come in a genuine place and not out of like, here you go, dig. You know what I mean? So that's it. But they're the strongest couple by far, right? By far, by leaps and bounds. And I think they're doing okay. But that's just kind of my thoughts on that.
Thank you, C-Way. Who's next? Yes, Trey.
The only thing that was interesting about this couple this week was that car ride. I thought it was very telling. Are they the strongest couple by far? The CEO said yes, absolutely. But it was kind of weird. I was on the fence a little bit. Chris was being very nonchalant about, you know, them deciding what they're going to do after the process is over, about them moving in, this and that, third. I understood Nicole's feelings about, you know, locking this thing down. You know, hey, you know, what are we going to do? I thought Chris was a little nonplussed about it. I was like, bro, you make a decision. You need to say something. Something. Now, to be fair, I had to take a step back and look at it. I was like, There might have been times before where I have maybe come off, you know, nonchalantly about something like this. The only difference is I just, you know, I clearly had a plan in my mind. I just went out and did it. Like, you know, it's got to be handled. It's going to be handled. I'm going to go handle it. I'm not the one just to talk about it all day, this and that, third, or just work. To Chris's point, I wouldn't worry about it too much myself either. You know, I understand it has to be done. It's going to get done, and we're going to do it. So to that, just a little bit, I kind of understood what he was doing. But in that moment, I knew it was a bad misstep. It was putting her in a not so good headspace. In that moment, she needed some type of reassurance from him of where they were going and what they were doing, and he wasn't giving it. So it was like, yeah, he's as we get down to the end, it is getting like, yo, is he serious about it? I don't know. Does he really love her? Heck, does she really love him? Because it sounds like she just falls easy for people anyway, and then turns around and try to, self-sabotage the situation at the same time, even if it is good for her. So I don't know about her either, but they're together. It seems like they're trying to go forward with it. We'll see. I think it's a hard question. I don't think we got to worry about Nicole too much, but is Chris even going to say yes to her on Decision Day? He probably will, but I don't know. It's just, yeah, I just don't know about them. Even though we should know, it should be. They're the only couple that should be an easy yes. But for some odd reason, especially when he was riding this car, and it was a conversation that they had in the beginning of this process, and I understood at the beginning, okay, it might have been too soon to be talking about this. Let's talk about it later. Well, now is later. You're coming down to the end. It's time to start making some plans here. So I was looking, I was like, okay, bro, you gotta say something. You gotta say something. It seemed like they've been looking at houses or something they're thinking about renting or whatever. And I think the main issue that was having difficulty trying to find a place that would house all three of the dogs. I think that's the issue. Was that the issue? Or was it something else? So I was asked the question, that was the issue? They're trying to find a place to find all three of the dogs? I can see that being difficult. Yeah, I can see that being difficult because a lot of places, 2 is going to be the max. Especially if you're trying to rent, whatever, they're usually around 2 the max. So I can see that being tough for them. And I also see why they are trying to find a house, because that would probably might be more lenient east. But yeah, he really needed to step up and be just a little more assured, even just being more confident and assured in that moment would have helped. But I don't know. Let's just get them over with. Let's just get them over with.
Yep. Anyone else want to have a crack at this Chris and Nicole situation?
Yeah. Go ahead, Sean.
I think that he's a covert problem too, because he's stringing this woman along, and if he don't come through, he's gonna break her soul because she has put Chris on a pedestal to be the savior and redeemer of all things wrong that she has had in the past. And now I'm gonna tell you, if he don't act right, she's gonna wreak havoc and be broken, and go back to her Bandcamp stories and about all the trauma and the drama that she has been through. So I really hope he don't play with her, but it looks that way, because that is, if anybody's being manipulative, it's him. Because why you talking about we'll figure it out? You have your place, I have mine. You done told this woman you loved her. And then him planting those little Post-it notes, that was wiggity, witty, 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 whack. And I got tongue-tied. But y'all know what I was trying to say. It was whack. Okay? because that was such a failed attempt. It was like he put 5 post-it notes on the banister and underneath the counter. It was like, and there's nothing wrong with planting nice surprise notes, but to me, it seemed very performative. It seemed very much, oh, I'm trying to get myself out of this and give you enough so that you can just leave me alone. So yeah, I wasn't buying all those post-its he dropped for her. You make me a better, you, I love you. None of the post-it should have said, we will sign a lease after decision day. That's what the post should have said, because that's what Nicole wants. She want to get a place together, and as you should if you're married, not, you know, oh, I love you, you make a better version of me, but I want to be over here so you can be over there, so we could see how it works out. And that's what I'm getting from Chris. He's go along to get along, and he's going to do just enough to get by, but at the end, he's going to lay down that hammer. Because every time she has a toxic story, he's got a slight one or similar one to match. So that means, to me, he also he has a little bit of level of toxicity to him too. And the way he slapped on that Rick James wig, that lets me know he's team toxic. And I'm going to land my plane.
Cheers, Sean. JR?
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, I still think this couple work, but I think they have 2 different styles of dealing with this particular moving in issue, right? Like, she wants, you know, action. She wants a plan. How are we going to do this? Have you thought about contacting people and, you know, let's make the moves to make it happen? He's very nonchalant, laid back, and, you know, I don't get that. I don't understand why he's like that, because he has already established a connection with her. The relationship seems to be going quite well. Apart from the I love you thing, which is still too early, let's be real. She's been asking for it for a long time. And, you know, he said it to appease her, like I said earlier. So it's not genuine. Now, with the dogs, you know, we saw how torn up he was about being away from his dogs. And I don't think I want to see him break down like that again. If he's in a position where he's forced to have to give one of them up or both of them up. So I think that might be the reason for his reluctance, his separation issues from his dogs. But yeah, I think when the rubber meets the road, they still could work. I do detect still some, it's like a vacant side to him. Maybe he's just that chilled. But I also detect a cranky side to her. A very persistent, I want to say like a persistent energy to try and get what she wants. If she manages it correctly and she's aware of it, then I think it can still work, because self-reflection, self-analysis is important. And that means she can correct it when she realizes she's doing it. If she doesn't have that self-awareness, then I think it will begin to grate on Chris, because he seems to be quite sensitive. And eventually, if it starts to break him down, then they're heading for Splitsville.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, you know, I think the situation with Chris and Nicole, I think part of him is also struggling with Nicole's attachment style, man. It's needy, man. It is needy, and it's constant validation, which can get draining. I think the reason why he doesn't want to move in straight away is because that she's a bit too much. And I think he's really trying to assess how much he can take. He wants to see if it can calm down and get to a point where it normalizes and stabilizes. I don't think he's at that point yet. You know, as well as I think he's a bit passive. Oh, sorry, Pudgy. I think he's a bit passive as well when it comes to certain situations, as we saw with the dogs in the first place. I'd have thought he should be, you know, as he saw what she did with the dogs first time round, he should be, you know, marching around trying to figure out how to get this thing across, even if it is with her help. You know, even like, hey, let's look at these options. What options can we get on the table? Even with that, something to make him get up to steam, because she sacrificed having her dog in the house, bro, so you could have your two. And you're not thinking faster how to get her to have her dog also there with you in a solution-wise. Your solution is to stay separate. Yeah, you sound like he's giving me, you know, look, her energy is a bit too much and I don't know how to handle yet, so I'm going to keep her at distance for now. That's what it's giving to me right now. So, and that's to do with her attachment style. She needs constant validation to make sure she's good. So that's going to be a tough one. So hopefully he's able to do it and able to provide the constant validation that she needs, you know? Hopefully. We'll see what happens. Anyone else have any thoughts? No?
I just co-sign on what you just said. He needs to take more initiative, especially in this house search. She left her dog so you could have both dogs in here, and now she's looking at you. And if you don't take initiative in this, that's gonna reflect bad. She's gonna have an issue with that, and she will speak up about it. So I absolutely agree with what you just said.
Anyone else?
There was something I wanted to add and I totally forgot. Because what else happened? We were talking about, somebody mentioned the dog. Oh, man. That sucks. I should have written it down.
About moving in with 3 dogs. Difficulty of finding a house like that.
Maybe it was around his level of selfishness and the fact that, you know, I think she set the stage for their relationship when she gave up her dogs coming to live in the apartment, you know, and when we haven't seen those dogs ever since. And I think she set the stage where she's been chasing him around this whole time. You know, even with the love thing, she was in love with him well before he was in love with her, but she was just waiting for him to say it. And now they do this performative love dance, you know, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you too. But the love word is so super important, but love is an action word. And when we think about the actions that come behind that, I think they've got a long way to go in that. And he is definitely not loving her when it comes to this apartment, because he just needs to be honest. You know, he does need to be honest about where he is and what legitimate concerns they have. But I think they have been positioned as this season's poster child of relationships that are going to make it. So you always have that one that we root for. So it's like, they themselves have bought into the narrative and other people have. And that's exactly why Shaq said what he said. You know, we should be further along than they are. Well, listen, they clearly have work to do. They've got work to do. And at the end of the day, I think you have to be careful about how you start your relationship when it comes to foundations, because that foundation is real shaky. And it's built on insecurity. It's built on a lack of confidence, lack of emotional regulation, because the way he bawled about them dogs, that's a lot. That's a lot. And the way he is inflexible, and you don't have to be rude and mean and stern to be inflexible. He's inflexible when it comes to that apartment. He is not going to get a place with her. And that is not showing love, and that you want to build a lasting relationship with her. So, my thoughts.
Correct thoughts. I hear that. Any other thoughts, guys, before we wrap it up? Fantastic. I think we're on time. So Beautiful stuff to me. All right, cool. Sean, give it the biggins and give us the Deacon role that you play so well.
All right. So I think we finally made some headwinds around Shaq and Kirsten. At least I want to believe. I'm going to delude myself into believing we made some headwinds and seeing that there's some opportunities on both sides, and that this couple, they're not going to make it. And I think one thing that we could take away from a learning is, one, we talked about this, in a marriage, especially, a new marriage, you really have to hone in and focus on the needs of each other. If I'm hyper focused on me and you're hyper focused on you, it makes for a challenging situation for us to move forward. We have to look at each other and look to serve each other in order for the relationship to be successful. Also, we've got to deal with the wounds from our past, right? So if we have mommy, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, auntie, mama issues, those are going to show up. They're going to show up and they're going to show out. So we got to deal with those, right? We also, can't have expectations of people that, in a lot of instances, in terms of things that we're not willing to do. If you're not willing to sacrifice, don't ask somebody else to sacrifice. If you're not going to give empathy, then don't ask the other person for empathy, right? Until you can be what should be the change that you want to be, then don't ask somebody else to be that change, right? We need to be self-aware. We need to look in the mirror and understand and acknowledge what we have to, what are the things that are about us that need to grow and change. Next, when it comes to Aris and Jasmine, Jasmine's down bad because she's just hoping, wishing, and praying that Aris is going to show up for her the way he wants to show up for her. And he ain't going to do it. And Aris, needs to set her free. He needs to give her papers, sign her papers. Like, if anybody knows Winter from Love and Marriage DC, sign her papers and give her divorce, because she needs to be set free. Continuing to try to set some bar that he's never going to meet, letting her lotion his legs, take care of him when he's sick. All of those things are not going to make a marriage, right? He don't want her. It ain't going to happen. And Jasmine, please, please don't allow anybody else to negate your value and make you jump through performative hoops for something that's never going to come. Clint and Gina, Clint's a good time guy and Gina just don't want it. So I think in relationships, what we also need to understand is, if we don't like somebody, it's okay, but don't project it. Don't it. Don't make it about them. Make it about you. Make your choice. Make it plain. If you ain't interested, then say it for what it is and let the person set themselves off. But don't talk about, we and we're trying and we are friends. No, if you don't like somebody, don't put it on the other person. And sometimes that's a way of deflecting and projecting, so we don't deal with our own issues and we don't look like the bad guy. But you don't have to be the bad guy if you don't like somebody. You're not a villain. You can just move on respectfully, right? So very, very important there. And Gina is a prime example that we know with some women, attraction don't grow. Okay, it don't grow. It ain't growing for her. Next, we have Chris and Nicole. Look, we can delude ourselves into Disneyland if we want to, but it's very important that we need to be realistic and honest about where we stand in our relationships. Don't do things prematurely, especially when it comes to the L word, love. We don't want to say it prematurely because it comes with consequences. It comes with expectations of actions. So if you're not going to do the actions, which is sacrifice, which is forgiveness, which is long suffering, then don't be throwing love around. Back to you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, Sean. Appreciate that as always, Deacon. Got 2 super chats I just want to read out as well. Kesha, as always, dropping super chats. We appreciate you. Says Gina would probably enjoy it if she let Clint. I'm getting hit. You know what I mean? So get that cowboy going. Cherie Desire says Chris likes her, but is unsure because Nicole never shuts up. Doesn't know if he can handle it. It's very true. I definitely believe that as well. So don't disagree with that as well. All right, so we're at the end of the show, but I do always do my little $5 cash app question, so I'm going to do that as well. Don't worry, I have not forgot for you guys as well. So we'll get a question. I've got a question here for myself, so don't worry, guys. I am on the ball. I am on the ball. Okay, I'm on the ball. All right, cool. So let me get my question ready for you guys.
Hugh Kwame.
No. So, question time for y'all. And the question is, who said to their partner that they are surprised that they are fearful today? Who said this about their partner, that they are surprised that their partner is fearful today? So they were doing an activity and they said that they were fearful. Who was the first person to say it? Who said those words? Well, Crystal's not involved, so you gave the answer to somebody. But first person was to Tashay Stone. Well done, Tashay Stone. Send your cash app, and we will send you $5 for getting the answer right as well. So send that cash app through, and you'll get the $5 as well for you guys as well. All right, so she was the fastest. To my panelists, because I know they're going to start crying about the fact that I'm broke and all that, and $5 is really going to change their life around. So let me give them a question as well, so that their life can be changed and renewed, and they can give their tithe and offerings to their churches. So the question for you guys is, I want to know. I want to know this answer. The fast person in the chat gets it. Who was upset because they couldn't meditate? The way I'm looking at the private chat, like
Yeah, I was trying to do it in the private chat, but I didn't realize I did it under you in the main chat.
oh, oh Lord. Well,
I think I was first, but I'll defer to Crystal.
Who said who's first then?
I think I was, but I'll defer to Crystal.
It was Crystal.
No, it was me. I'm under Little Black Book. That's what I'm saying. I did it under Little Black Book. But
you did it underneath me.
Yeah. I was like, is Kojo answering his own question?
No. Yeah, I did it under Kojo mistakenly.
No, well, that would teach next time. Put in the private chat in it, won't it? I mean, you miss out your blessings when you don't listen to instructions. Okay?
Listen, that $5 that could have. I got me a nice super chat from Sherry. I mean, a nice cash out from Sherry. I could have put that together, and I could have had me a good number 2 on the Chinese food menu. So but next time.
Seaway, you don't have a cash out, Seaway, and I do not have a Venmo. So maybe we're gonna have to find a way to explore this. You got PayPal? You got PayPal, fantastic. So I'll send you a PayPal.
Yeah, put your PayPal for people, because some people don't have Venmo. Seaway.
Yeah.
Seaway's bougie. She don't want to do Cash App. So.
Cash App.
I was trying to save you from just saying the words. I was trying to cover you.
Just let me cover you.
You're gonna light you up some Cash App shame in the comment section.
She said she's still waiting on her Dunkin' Venmo.
I just waiting for one Dunkin' Venmo.
Jerry was trying to send you something, but here you come with Venmo.
Jerry and Tyrone, we're trying to send me. I'm not talking about them.
You need to come on to Cash App. You need to come on Cash App Seaway. Okay. You need to be open yourself up to all the blessings the Lord has for you. When I remember what the Lord has done, I will never go back anymore. When you go to Cash App, you won't have to go back to Venmo anymore. So, my friend, come to Cash App. Okay? Yeah. Listen, audience. Again, Tashay, send me your Cash App. You can send it to me on Twitter if you have me on Twitter. On Insta, if you have me on there, you can DM me. Or you can send it to my email at littleblackbook91@gmail.com. So you can send it to there if you feel quietus too. All right. Don't forget to send it, because once I go to sleep, that Cash App's gone. I'm no longer in the mood to give. So make sure you don't forget that. So make sure you give it to me before I go to bed. And if I see the email or see the message on DMs, I'm gonna send you that Cash App, but don't miss your
Are
blessing.
you keeping tally of the pot, Kojo?
It wasn't on Married at First Sight, was it? Was it Ready to Love? The tally's
I
up.
thought we had a pot. I thought some people didn't.
Not for Married at First Sight. For Ready to Love, we have a pot.
I think there's a pot on Maths too, but if you ain't keeping,
there isn't one on Maths. There isn't one on Maths. There's one definitely one on Ready to Love.
Do you?
If there is one, then it's new. Tally? If there is one for Married at First Sight, it's like only like $5. It was Ready to Love that we have like I think we're on $35 on Ready to Love, which you said you're gonna match. So whatever they give, you're gonna match. He said. So, you see. No, don't be broke now. Don't be broke. It's $35. What you crying for? Don't be broke now. Yeah. Don't worry, ladies. Sean is going to double whatever we bring to the table at the end of the season, and the season's gonna be over by what? The season's over tomorrow, bro. Tomorrow the season's over. So what the max they can get is $40. So you can just double that, so they can get 80. I think that's fantastic. I think as men we should be given, let these ladies suck all the money out of our pockets. I think we should. You know what I mean? To buy 2.3 million houses.
I'm not gonna be
I don't know why you crying
about sucking, but what I will say, as the leader of this channel, Good King Kojo, you should be leading by example and setting the tone.
And I am.
You should be the one doubling the pot.
I'm definitely leading by example by giving the pots already at the 40. Now I'm asking for my subjects and my kings and queens also in the kingdom.
You want your underlings to come up top and match. Oh yeah, the hierarchy is.
You ever seen the story of our good brother Solomon? He asks all the people in the kingdom to contribute. I'm asking for y'all to contribute. So
you
just
said
like that,
me.
brother.
You didn't say all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Specifically those who have arms and chest and chest hairs, us men. I'm playing.
You are the Tinder swindler. You're the YouTube swindler.
I'm going swindle.
Exactly. Those beautiful words. All swindling.
Y'all, what are we talking about right now?
Oh, I was joking about the pot for Ready to Love. Is that I think it's like $35 now.
Yeah,
so
because that one was pretty high, but
yeah. The Maths one, people have been taking their Cash Apps. They've been taking their Cash Apps. So it's Ready to Love that has a pot. So I think we're like $35 or $40. I'm not sure what it is, but we'll definitely have Sean and Trey especially, and our brother Unlockable Character add some more to the Cash App. So
wait,
yeah.
Sherry's coming to Zelle. I can do that. I got Zelle.
You got a Zelle. Yeah. You got everything but a Cash App.
I just cannot do Cash App.
Why can't you do Cash App? Is it a ghetto?
It really is, for multiple reasons.
What's so ghetto about Cash App?
First of all, Cash App for no reason blocked my account when I had money for literally no reason. And after that, I was like, and then when I called them, it was like, why is it blocked? They talk about, we can't tell you. What? After that, I was like, I'm literally done with Cash App. I put my Zelle there, I think.
You gotta let that go, Seaway. You gotta forgive your ex-boyfriends, okay? Let them go. Okay. Cash App, forgive Cash App.
Because I
go
think
again.
Kojo took away the heading.
Oh, sorry, apologies. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, yes, I can't. I was gonna say something. Oh, they said we need to start a GoFundMe. Profound said we need to start a GoFundMe for Blue.
Seaway, put it in the chat because the font is very small. They were having a hard time reading it. I know that was from
GoFundMe for Blue. Yeah, listen, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. You do the crime, you got to do the time. You know who can do a GoFundMe for him? The girl that was saying that she actually liked it. Thank you. The girl that said that she liked him and it wasn't fake. She can put a GoFundMe for him.
Well, we can call out Jeffrey too, because Jeffrey need to do it too, because she was over there posting videos of them.
That's very true.
Grinding upon the waistline.
That's it. When you see a video come out tomorrow saying that people should do that, Jeffrey and Kayla should do a GoFundMe, no one should come and at me that I'm being petty, because I'm being definitely true. They should do a GoFundMe. He's got commissary to be put on the books that he needs help. So he's gonna be in there for 2 years. I need to see that same support that they came out with on on Insta with the whole video for Jeffrey, and I need Kayla as well too, because it looked like y'all had blue held down. I want to see him blue turn to orange. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
So
why he buy
hopefully
that
they-
old? Why he buy that old car though with that scammer money? That was
That's what I said. I said, what if you're gonna scam? Why don't you do a proper scam? What's this? You're gonna buy an M3? You're living in the
No, but if y'all don't know about
Need for
that
Speed
model
days.
of BMW, one, it's like a race car, and
Yeah.
It's a low-key
Need for
collectible.
Speed days.
BMW, okay, Mr.
yeah.
It's-
If I had to guess,
it's
he
a
had
low-
multiple cars.
It's a low-key
That wasn't-
collectible.
So people buy those and customize them because that BMW engine is highly
It's a
sought
race.
after.
Yes,
Yeah.
that particular model he brought.
He's in Florida, so they have tons of racetracks. That happens to be like one of my little
Yeah.
things. So
That
I'm not
that
saying he
particular
should've
model he brought
cheated his way out of
is
it, but
he brought the right model. That particular model he brought, that's the one to get.
Because
Yeah.
I was looking at it. Like
Actually, he
saying,
got it for a steal. That's why I was shocked. I was like, "Wait, he only paid what for that? Really? Who did he
hey,
get
he's
that
living
off
his
of?"
best Need for Speed life, boy. Because that's
Yeah,
how I remember that
because-
car.
the M models are the advanced, performance engines of BMWs. Like I just got an M, so I just am in love with the M's. Like that is
When did you get? Is that what you had when I was there?
no, in
different,
December
after.
because my lease was up.
Wow, ladies and gentlemen, look who you need to be collecting. You
No,
need to be
no,
coming
no,
to
no, no,
Sean. No. Y'all
I'm
just
just
go
giving
for Sean.
context.
He's
Okay?
new apartments,
So I
and
happen
he's got
to
himself
know
an M.
that
You
was
need to know who he's going for.
Well,
This brother's got money.
I got it. Be a short.
Just put a target on that man back. Jesus.
Ladies, don't be shy. Get you a man that has money. Okay.
Cut it out. Cut
All
it
right.
Out. Go away from me, please.
Can I just ask one question since we here and Math wasn't hitting on nothing? No way.
Okay.
What y'all think about Chance the Rapper in the twerking in Jamaica? I really want to know y'all takes on that. I won't lead the witness.
Oh, I mean, that's a very good question. That to be honest, how did you not feel about Chance's situation?
I don't listen to Chance. So.
Don't worry about listening to him. He was out here whining girls at the carnival. I don't listen to him either. He was whining a girl at the Jamaican carnival, and he has a wife. I didn't even know he was married. I did not know he was married. So
Yeah, they have like a real kind of like wholesome, nice family.
2 kids, 2
unit.
girls.
But did somebody complain? Like, what's the big
they
deal?
took a video. They took a video of him dancing with some women, whining, and then the whole internet went off talking about men ain't shit, basically, and we
when he
shouldn't
did a
get
whole
Chance.
song, a whole album, I love my wife, I love my wife, I love my wife. And now they're saying that, now he's in Carnival. Oh.
So was he in the audience or was he performing and dancing?
No, he was in the audience. He was part of. He was walking along with the processions and dancing with women, and that's all.
Listen, he was having a good time. Listen, sometimes we get the best of ourselves. If all he was doing is dancing, then I don't see what the big deal is. Now, if he was doing horizontal dancing, then, that's something we probably need to revisit.
Exactly. That's what I said. I said that I think it's between him and his wife. If his wife understands that culture, then, she's going to be cool with it. She knows it's carnival. Carnival people do that. They dance and they move on. Okay. Now I dance and I move on. You know what I mean? When I was at carnival last year, I dance and I move on. I ain't got nothing else to say. Keep it pushing, keep it moving. Don't do anything else. You know what I mean? So
I actually agree. I said, listen, it doesn't mean that he slept with the girl if he's just dancing.
Yeah. Now, if he got somebody's number, then we got a different story. But as far as we saw he was enjoying some brown skins. Okay, that's what we saw. Okay, so big booty woman. That's what he was doing.
I mean, I
see,
think
is it too much for you?
Huh?
Too much for you?
No, I mean, I think it was fine, but I'm also like one of those people where I just feel like you got to let people live. The harder you hold on to folks and try to control every single one of their actions, the worse it is going to be for you. But what I will say is that I think what made it look bad was not the twerking, it was the slapping of the butt. And to me, that wasn't necessarily Caribbean culture. The twerking of itself, but he turned it into Atlanta strip club when you.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see the butt slapping.
I didn't see the part either. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did you have to touch it? Did you have to touch it, or did he air slap it?
No, he slapped it.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh,
I feel like that's where it goes from like just culture to like now you're over sexualizing the whole situation. So I know it's a thin line, but I think that's kind of where it got a little bit kind of.
Now, Seaway, you ever heard of daggering?
Yeah, if he's daggering,
he wasn't daggering.
Dagger.
He just slapped the little hind parts. In Caribbean, they be full on daggering. You know, head in butt cheeks. So if he just did a little slap of the hiney, you know.
I'm not saying it's the worst. I'm just saying I think that's
why it went a bit wrong.
I think that's where the outrage,
which makes sense.
Yeah, where it
that's
came
probably
from.
A bit too much.
I think if he would have did everything but slapping her butt, I don't think anybody would have said anything.
I didn't realize he slapped the butt as well. That's yeah. I would be annoyed if my girl was bouncing somebody and she allowed them to suck their ass. That's madness.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So yeah, the wine is the wine, but slapping ass is way too far. So yeah, it was at the line. He should apologize to his wife, say listen a bit too much. I got carried away, and that's all that happens. He got carried away. You know what I mean? And two, unfortunately, because he's a celebrity, everything gets filmed. You know what I mean? He should have done this at a private function. That's a little dark ass for you. He should have done a private function and kept it pushing. You know what I mean? Because you definitely gonna get recorded. So, and then everyone interprets it as they want to interpret it. But yeah, someone said, "Would you let your wife whine on a man's?" I'll be honest with you, it's not. Listen, if that person's from that culture, goes to carnival. Listen, listen, I don't really care. Go and whine, do whatever you want to do. I've moved past that, man. When I was younger, it would have been like, oh my god. Now I'm like, if that's what you want to do, have fun with it. As long as you're respectful, and no one's slapping your ass and grabbing your booty, I think we can move on.
I think at a certain point, if you're gonna pull up, then you shouldn't be micromanaging the situation. If somebody's going to carnival, you know, it is.
You know what's about.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for me. It's not a let her do anything because I don't think you let somebody do something. But you know, the standards that I have, that wouldn't work. So I might have to let her go if.
Why are you always trying to let?
I will let her go. If you tell me you're going to carnival is my wife, I'm gonna let you go.
You always gotta love. You the most fair weather loving. You can love somebody and lead them if you don't do nothing else. You stay trying to let somebody go.
Bab in the chat asked Seaway, would you be okay with your husband if he did that?
Here's the thing. If he no, because I want to clarify. Would I be mad if he did it in real life at carnival? No. What I'd be mad about though is if you know you're a celebrity and you're bringing nonsense to my door. You know what I mean? I'm just like one of those type of people. Like if you bring in stress to my door that you should have already knew was gonna cause a problem, I'm more mad because you're being inconsiderate. It's not that you had a little fun at the carnival. That's not the problem. I'm kind of laid back when it comes to that. But if now I got to deal with a whole 48-hour news cycle about you slapping somebody's butt, that's agitating. It's like your Chance the Rapper, and now you're bringing bullcrap to my door. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So I don't know if that answers your question, but it probably is not what y'all think. It's the inconsideration of everything. So that's kind of what it is. But you gotta let people live. You can't hold people that tight. So you gotta let people have a little fun.
I agree. I hear that. It's carny. It's what they do at carnival. Can't lie to you. So you got to be ready for it. That's all.
Not as JR kidnap.
Joe in front of a green screen. But yeah, I definitely definitely would definitely have to say that, you got to know who you're marrying. If you're marrying into that culture, a dancer dance for them, man. A dancer dance for them. And once you get to that idea, you're fine. It's no stress. You get me? So, but yeah, not everyone can handle that. So choose your battles wisely, guys. Choose your battles nuts. All right, cool. So, audience, thank you so much to Shay. Again, send me your Cash App through DMs or send it to me through email as well. Okay. Because JR's given us some looks as the sun comes up on his face. Clearly he's fully enjoying. So we gonna do what he doing. We gonna go. We gonna spend our time elsewhere. Okay. All right. So audience members, thank you so much. We appreciate you as well. Don't do what Chance the Rapper would do, okay? Because some of you, your wives will not have it, so, and your husbands wouldn't have it either. All right, so make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notification uploads, and I'm gonna have to leave you with something. I can't leave you alone. I just can't leave you alone. Hey, that song came to my head. That's a banging tune. Anyway, listen. Hey, prayers out to Jamie Foxx too, because actually he's in a hospital now. So, sad news. So I really hope he pulls through. Because we've got a few more memes he has to do. So I need him to pull through. And we just wish his family grace as well, and love, and peace in these moments as well. Because Jamie Foxx has impacted most of our lives in terms of creating great moments. So shout out to Jamie Foxx as well.
You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Blessings, everybody. We appreciate you. Stay lots of loaded.
Not on my watch.